Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement y a plus d'espoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement j'ai voulu croire. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour ne plus rien avoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour plus jamais te voir. Je ne t'aime plus, mon amour. Je ne t'aime plus tous les jours. Je ne t'aime plus, mon amour. Je ne t'aime plus tous les jours. Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement y a plus d'espoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement j'ai voulu croire. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour ne plus rien avoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour plus jamais te voir. Je ne t'aime plus, mon amour. Je ne t'aime plus tous les jours. Je ne t'aime plus, mon amour. Je ne t'aime plus tous les jours. Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement y a plus d'espoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir tellement j'ai voulu croire. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour ne plus rien avoir. Parfois j'aimerais mourir pour plus jamais te voir. Je ne t'aime plus.
Sun don't stop for nobody, man. Sun don't stop. Sun gonna be up in the morning regardless. That sun is gonna be up in the morning regardless of how I feel and how depressed I am. The sun is gonna shine in the morning, and at nighttime the moon gonna be there, and you gonna look up. These days gonna keep going by. So do you let the days go by and look up, and you done wasted a year doing what? Or do you just pick it up? All right, gotta figure it out. Made some mistakes. Life goes on. Let me figure out life from this point.
You want to become best, you want to become champion, and now you want to say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you. He was tired, he have personal problem, family problem. Nobody cares.
We're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book?
Yeah. What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. Since 20 years. It was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Now, my vertical was a 40, wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right, so you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right, so I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more, and it just never changed.
What I found is that winning doesn't happen on show day. It happens in those early mornings, painful workouts, long cardio sessions, and hungry nights. It happens in those moments of fear we all have when faced with a difficult goal, and in more so in what you make of that fear. It happens in every second of every day before you win. If you can take every opportunity you have to bring yourself closer to your goal, win every one of those opportunities, all while becoming more resilient in the process, how can you lose? That is an exciting opportunity.
I became obsessed with being the baddest that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you gotta be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off.
How bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to ever find that dream again. For it is dead. and in its death is replaced by regret.
What's the least amount of sleep you played a game on?
No
Is
sleep.
there a story where it's like, you know, no one knows about, where you went and played a game and it was so insane for whatever reasons?
No sleep.
You played a game with zero sleep.
Zero sleep. Zero sleep. It's like, you know, kids.
What's good?
Natalia had a certain
Happy New
you know,
Year.
health situation, what have you, and you're staying up all night, and then you got to go out and perform because fans don't know. You know, teammates don't know, nor do they care, nor should they, that you've been up all night. You got to perform. Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And they'll just take vacations just to take
How we doing?
vacations or just hang out, just to hang out.
What's good, everybody? Just checking out the chat right now. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy New Year. Let me plug my laptop in real quick. Just noticed the battery's a little low. Well, I'll get started. Markets open shortly. Forex market. Forex market opens up soon. It was an eventful weekend. I think we're coming into maybe an interesting week, interesting start to the year this weekend. It's an eventful weekend. But yeah, we got some information to go over today. Happy New Year, like I said. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear in the chat. And yeah, let me know where you guys are tuning in from today, 2026. All right. Welcome, everyone. This is the first stream of 2026, and I want to start the year the right way. So this stream isn't about hype trades, chasing moves. It's about setting some standards. We're going to go over some market predictions a bit throughout the stream, analyze the charts, talk about some gold, silver, oil, crypto. But let's get into it. 2026 trading reset, new year, higher standards. All right, let me close the window so I don't get that background noise. From time to time, oh yeah, the camera might be in the way just for this slide, actually. Just for this slide. Where is everybody tuning in from today, this afternoon? I closed the window. So, almost 1 year ago, we started here. Now we have Inner Circle and Huge Discord. Let's make 2026 amazing. Yeah, 2025, what a year. What a year it was. We started a year ago streaming. And yeah, 2025 was definitely a year to gain some experience, especially if you look at the markets. You're kind of like a character in the markets, and you can always get better. 2025 was a year that I can say I definitely got better at trading. It was definitely an eventful year, a year of lots of experiences. And that's the crazy thing. I've been trading for over 10 years. And 2025 was that year that, with all the years I've been trading and on the markets, investing, it just like compounded so much of my experience. It was such a good year of experience, and it shows you that consistency and like just staying the long-term game is key. I've been doing this for a long time, and you can only get better, right? You can always just get better and better and better. I'm telling you, right? In the skill set, it's like you do something for 5 years straight. That 6th, 7th year, you compound all that time together and experience together, and you just make the best out of it, and your experiences evolve. That's what 2025 was for me. I threw myself out there, streamed a lot, sent a lot of trades, a lot of market predictions, so it was definitely a year to evolve for me. And I'm excited for 2026. I want to sharpen those skills that I gained in 2025 and just move forward with higher standards. We're gonna talk about some stuff today here on the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everybody had like a good holiday season. Hope everyone had a good Christmas, New Year's. Definitely was like a little lazy time for me. It was in like hibernation mode. I see we got a lot of people tuning in though. Germany, Poland, Italy, Slovenia, England, Canada. What's good, Canada? What is good, Canada? But yeah, I'm excited to kick it off this year. with our first stream here. So the first slide, let's just talk about maybe some foundation for everyone. We'll talk about this today, discipline over hype, and set some standards before we get into the charts. Let me take my camera off just for this slide, maybe a couple slides, so you guys can maybe see everything clearly here. And let's get into it. I'll pop the camera back on in a couple minutes. If you guys have questions, type in the chat. I'm looking at the chat as well throughout the stream. I got it on my monitor. So discipline over hype. What does that mean? If you're chasing moves, let's say entering the market emotionally, or trading just to feel productive, the market will punish you. So in trading, you don't get paid for being active, for taking more trades or being involved. You get paid for being precise, for executing correctly, for executing properly on trades, for taking good quality trades. So less trades, higher quality, right? You don't want to go into the new month, new year, new week, whatever, chasing moves and entering things emotionally just so you feel like you're involved in the market. This is one maybe thing that gets in the way of some people's trading, is where they may take trades, re-enter the same trade over and over again after it's gone into a profit. So good entries and good setups, they're not luck. They're just a result of discipline, patience. We could say confluence, adding things together like our confirmations, technical analysis, market structure, key levels, whatever it is, confluence, and even timing. We're going to talk about timing in one of the slides, good times to trade. I got a couple more slides. We got like 5 slides, not a lot to go through because I want to get on the charts. When the market opens up. I wonder how the market's going to open today. All right, so this is pretty much just the first slide here, right? Setting some standards. You really want, if you lack discipline in 2025, it's something you need to work on, right? Patience. We often talk about patience. I've showed you guys lots of examples in the year of 2025 where patience was just key in trading. So most of us maybe want to trade more in 2026, but we have to think of the mindset to trade better. Maybe we want to trade more, we want to take more trades. If you lock in your mindset first, everything else pretty much becomes easier, secondary, all right? So set higher standards for yourself. Not just in terms of profit, like you're trying to make money, obviously that's the goal, but become a more disciplined person, become a more patient person. Cut out bad habits, maybe bad habits that are slowing you down and not keeping you on top of things, right? Setting higher standards doesn't have to be about visioning to be 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. I think the way to get there, if you want to be a millionaire, millionaires think in terms of their mindset, right? You want to get to $1 million. You want to be a multi-millionaire, right? It starts in the mindset, right? It all starts in your mind. So set a higher standard for yourself going into this new year. That could be who you are as a person, who you are as a trader, who you are as a general person outside of trading. Like if you're not disciplined, if you have bad habits, if you're lazy in general life outside of trading, right? If you're not organized, if you're not consistent with things outside of trading, that may reflect the person you are and the work ethic that you have with trading, right? Okay? So set a higher standard for yourself, not just who you want to become in terms of maybe, some of you guys want to reach your first 6 figures. Some of you guys maybe want to get to 7 figures or on the way there with different lanes, right? Some of you guys might want to get to your first 10K, right? Your first $10,000 withdraw, right? Your first $10,000 day, your first $10,000 month, your first $10,000 week, etc., right? Build habits, build the correct habits. Build an internal structure for yourself. Vision yourself as that person that already has that, as someone who's going to create those types of results. Okay? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Someone said that in the chat. I like that. I haven't heard that in a while. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Well said. Well said. Well said. Well said. So, let's get into a little bit of trading stuff now. All right. So, gold. We're going to talk about a little bit about how to trade gold in 2026. So, this is the second slide. First one was a little bit of mindset stuff there. We got to set that strong foundation, guys. We got to be disciplined. I think it's patience over profits. You get paid to wait at the end of the day, but we trade gold here. So anybody who's new here, we trade XAU. We focus on gold. Now, this is where traders mess up. Gold doesn't move the same all day, but gold is very, very versatile, I could say. So I outlined some key session times that we can focus on trading gold. It doesn't move the same all day. If you're trading random hours, you're pretty much forcing trades. So when I trade gold or XAU, I focus on when gold actually moves, not when I want to trade. So late Tokyo session, for example. This is before London session. I like to call this... Let me move the camera up. I'm going to put it right there. Yeah. That'll be better. It'll be fine for the next slides. It was just the first slide. So with XAU, you have different times of the day you can focus on it. So you can take one trade a day on it, or you can find yourself, once you really start to understand it, in a position where you can take multiple trades in a day on XAU. This is why I like mainly focusing on XAU throughout the week. Timing is key. So late Tokyo, this is pre-London session. This is where it starts to give you structure in terms of time of the day. So we're talking about gold. Gold is extreme right now. We witnessed 2025, a historic year for gold. It has a $30 trillion market cap. So what are the key things with this? So late Tokyo, write this down. Late Tokyo, it starts to give you structure. London starts to bring in volume. And then New York, a lot of times, will give a continuation or reversal. So I can write this stuff down, but take note of that. And that's really it. I'll write it in the chat. Where's the chat at? Here. So, one sec. So, late Tokyo. So, late Tokyo session. Late Tokyo session gives structure. London gives you volume. So London starts to bring in like volume. Oftentimes I find trades like in late Tokyo that go into London. London gives you volume with gold. New York session is typically the fastest session. I find that's where there's the most volatility. So New York session. Someone even just said it in the chat what I was thinking in my head. Someone just wrote in the chat, if you notice, the late Tokyo trend continues often into London. So gold is actually, it's pretty fast. Like if you watch gold in these key windows, I call these pretty much trading windows. When you look at the day, when we look at the day, in a daily candle, you have these basically three sections, you know, in your day. In your 24-hour daily candle. So it's key to know this because you don't need to trade every session. All right, this is one thing for mindset. You don't need to trade every session. You don't need to be in the market all day, but these are kind of the optimal times that you can show up to the market or expect the market to have some movement, confirmations, maybe even signals. You really need one good window, one clean setup, and just the discipline to find or wait for that setup to spot the confirmations. Because if you think about it, it's three. So this is how I got good at trading gold and understanding gold. And I've taught a lot of people this over the years. Like, not only in 2025, but throughout previous years, I've taught thousands of people these concepts. And people have had breakthroughs and just understandings of these things, especially my inner circle students that are literally in the chat. So you really just need like one good window, one clean setup, the discipline to walk away. So the discipline to walk away and the discipline to wait for the setup to appear around these times. This is usually where you're going to get setups. So if you think about it, you do the math, you know, you got Monday to Friday. You do the math behind that. You got Monday to Friday, right? You got 3 sessions per day, right? So you're looking at like 15 different times the market generally does move, like 10 to 15 times per week. Not that we have to trade every session, but it's like knowing this, it's like we don't have to be so consumed in other times or worried about every market movement. The way you'll find more trades is by timing and then just better discipline. You don't need more trades in the start. You just need better discipline to wait and see the setups. So I personally restrict like my trading hours to kind of like these times. Like these are my windows. It helps improve clarity for me. My execution gets sharper. This is kind of how I just play gold long term throughout the weeks, or just mainly focusing on these key times. London typically has like volume that can go into New York. But this is when I like to kind of start to be on gold, like these windows where I often find setups or signals. It's around these areas. So when it comes down to XAU, if you're going to back test it, so for example, you're going to back test, let's say XAU, forward test it, or even back test it, right? It's going to be, these are some key windows. Like obviously we have the holiday market, but let's say you're looking at the market one day after another, right? I like to pay attention one day after another what happens in each session. How did each session move? Which session brought the most volume in? How did London move? What was its direction? Was there a reversal in New York session? As someone said in the chat, pre-London session, because it's late Tokyo, it's kind of when gold really starts moving. Gold has a big market cap, as we know. Someone just said another good thing in the chat. Pre-London session is a good time to see where the market is going to start to go. So often, like knowing like pre-London, often you don't even need to trade New York session. You can often find trades even before New York session. Like you could find often trades on gold at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, or even late Tokyo before London. I like days like that. Like if I'm able to find a trade before New York session, I'll be very light risk if I'm going to trade New York session, or if I see something during New York session. I won't push New York session aggressively because New York session can be really, really volatile in terms of like pips, how much it moves. You can see big dumps during New York session. Like gold will dump the most in New York session, or typically make reversals or retracements. A lot of times I'm finding trades before New York session to really get straight to the point there, right? So back to more mindset. We're gonna go on the charts a little bit, but in a bit when the market opens, like I know currency pairs are gonna start moving soon. Gold starts to open in like an hour. If you want to get good at understanding gold's movements, take take day by day, break down the days, and look at these sessions. Pay attention to how it moves in each session. I like to do it as the days go by. So when we get to tomorrow, and I'm going to be up tonight and look at how London session, like we're going to be on the charts for market open. I wonder how gold and like silver and oil is probably going to move a lot, like crude oil. Like we got to expect like crude oil to probably move a lot, yo. 57 a barrel right now. Oil's probably going to move, yo. Like when market opens, like silver, gold, stocks are gonna move tomorrow, like oil stocks and stuff. My like aggressive, risky side of me is like wanting to click like buy on gold when the market opens. That's like my aggressive, impulsive side. Wants to do that when the market opens. Gold had a dump, crazy, like Friday morning, like perfect reversal. Friday reversal. And dumped before market closed. Market ended off like looking like a buy before it closed. And then we had the news on the weekend. Silver too. Silver's probably gonna move when the market opens. Crude oil, like oil is probably gonna like be volatile this week. Expect volatility on oil this week. Like oil stocks too, like any oil companies, oil refinery companies and stuff, like that stuff's probably going to be really volatile this week. I wonder if oil's going to go up, right? Is oil going to go up? Is oil going to pump? Oil's like at 57. My impulsive side wants to click buys. We've seen crypto. Crypto went up over the weekend. I mean, there were some meme coins and some altcoins that moved. My bonk is up like 30%. Let's go. Bonk's coming back. We'll talk about crypto in a little bit. Let's get back to the last couple slides. We got some time. Gold opens in like an hour. So this rule alone, simple. Like it's simple. And this is where just discipline comes into play and just patience and understanding there's always going to be another day. Or with gold, another session. Like if you take a trade, let's say in late Tokyo going into London, win or lose, there's a possibility for another trade, maybe in New York session. Or if you take a trade in New York session, there's a possibility for a trade in London session. This is why I like gold, right? It's not always that I have to wait for the next day. It might be a couple hours that I have to wait. It's like I said, like Tokyo can form structure. London can bring in volume. Volume means like manipulation, liquidity grabs. That's one thing that I meant by like volume for London. Manipulation, liquidity grabs, stop loss hunts. That can happen around these hours going into like late Tokyo London session where you get liquidity sweeps, stop loss hunts, maybe even like manipulation, right? So it's like gold for me isn't always I have to wait until like 24 hours. Like if it was like if I was trading the stock market, it would be 9 to 5, right? It would be like New York Open. So win or lose, my trade would be, the next day. Gold, it has that versatility where it's like, okay, if there might be a trade in Tokyo, there could be a trade later in London, or there could be a trade in London and closer to New York, closer to these times. That's why it's really good for me. I like gold, especially with my style. You can get a lot done in a week on gold. You don't eventually have to like trade the entire month. Like 2 good weeks of gold trading can add up to like 2 months of gains, 1 month of like a really good gain. If you have a solid week with gold, a solid 2 weeks with gold, it's not that you have to overextend the months always. This rule is really simple. And I mean, if we talk about this rule, I mean, this rule alone will save most traders, most active traders, whether you're taking 1 trade a day, 1 trade a week, 1 trade a session. If there's no setup, there's no trade. So like I said in the first slide, you don't get paid to be like involved. You don't get paid for time in the trades, time in the market. So being bored is not a reason to enter the market. Most losses don't come from, bad trades or bad setups, they come from forcing trades when nothing is really there. So like we kind of structured out in the first slide, we said some things that kind of lean into this, quality over quantity. Focus on that first, because at least when you get that part right, when you get good quality setups right, you know what you're looking for maybe more frequently. At least if you can get the quality over quantity, less is more, and focus on good execution. One thing we like to say is patience is a position. So the more minutes, the more hours you spend in a trade, the more exposure you have to the market. So having cash, having equity, having balance on the side is a position. Having patience is a position. Some of the best setups that I catch, best trades in the day, are usually where I'm just kind of sitting there and not in the market, and something happens that triggers. Like, it's like, well, okay, good thing I wasn't in the market there. Now my setup is forming. Even when you see a potential setup, like, I send a lot of signals, and anybody who's following me has seen how consistent I've been. Sometimes when I spot a signal that I'm getting ready to take, I don't send it right away and I don't take it right away. I wait a bit. I maybe give myself that little extra layer of patience. So when you do trade, it should just be for, again, one reason only. Confluence, right? Adding things together, confirmations. Okay, I don't even think you can see me on the camera right now. I'm looking like some 3D thing here, I think. Y'all can hear good, right? So let the market prove it's ready before you strike. Let's go on the last slide. Yeah, market opens gold opens 45 minutes. Gold's gonna move at 605. We'll analyze it in 20 minutes or so. Yeah, oil is gonna probably maybe be crazy this week. I don't even know. What this isn't it. No, it's here. It's at a low. I'm curious at oil futures, anything oil will move, gas companies, oil refineries, oil stocks. That's just probably gonna move, especially New York session tomorrow when the stock market opens up. Witty crude, crude oil and forex. So crude on forex brokers, that's gonna move. Crude oil. So it's real simple. We got a couple more slides to go over. When it comes down to it, when I'm looking for trades, I'm not looking for one signal. I'm looking for multiple reasons for price to react, right? Higher time frame bias, key levels, hold numbers, liquidity zones, order blocks, candlestick confirmations, market structure. It could be a combination of things on taking a trade, and then trying to time it correctly. Trying to time it at a time where I know the market's likely to move, where it's this is a good time to enter. Timing is another layer of things that I could add onto all of these different types of reasons I could be expecting price to react at a certain area, at a certain level. And again, it could be even higher time frame bias, hold numbers, so key levels, hold numbers, market structure, rejection or confirmation candles, liquidity sweeps. A lot of things. When these things line up, trading becomes easier because the market is pretty much doing the work, right? So, one clean or a couple clean setups. Like I would say a couple, because again, guys, we trade gold, and like it was holiday week last week, and I didn't even think I was gonna send signals. Is my camera good? Holy, what happened to the camera? Let me see if I can fix it real quick. Give me a minute. See if I can fix this thing. Give me 1 minute. Camera just went. See if it's back. Camera looked crazy there. I didn't even notice. I think we're, yeah. Oh man, I might have something going on. Like I didn't think I was gonna send signals during holiday week, but there was like one day I sent 2 trades in a day, and I could have had 3 trades that day. I didn't think I was gonna send signals in holiday week, but I did to the Telegram. If you're in the Telegram chat. And back to this, I mean, for me, it's like a couple clean setups can outperform like weeks of random trades, right? Like a couple clean, even if it's one clean setup, that could outperform a week or days of random trades that you're just chasing the market. Okay, so it's not always just one thing when I'm looking for a trade. It's tying multiple things together, and gold moves really simple with structure. This is one of like the only setups that we trade. There's a few different types of setups on gold that you could maybe find in the days or in the sessions, like I outlined in slide number 2. Yeah, camera went crazy for a minute there. I don't know what happened. This is one of like the simplest setups to master with gold, because you're not chasing price. You're waiting for a break and retest in the trend. So one of the simplest trades to master with gold, whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend. And I've made some videos on this recently. I know you guys that follow me on Instagram or in the Telegram chat, I've posted some stuff on this setup. If you go in the Telegram and you go to my Instagram, you might have to scroll a bit. I might have just posted one the other day, actually. This right here. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you see I've been posting a good amount of these. This is one of the setups that literally is so simple to master with gold, because the way it moves. Gold is really volatile. It's one of the simplest setups to understand and learn. And because it's so easy, you might, misjudge it. And gold is really volatile, right? Because it's so simple of a setup, you might always try to chase other setups. This is a good foundation to start, especially if you're a new trader trying to learn gold. So we don't chase price, pretty much wait for a break, retest, and confirmation in a trending direction. This keeps you patient. It keeps you selective. It also keeps your risk tighter. But simple setups like this, executed with discipline. It's just discipline, right? It beats complex systems every time. But to trade like this, you have to understand, right? Price doesn't just move randomly. It expands, it retraces, it continues. So if you understand where you are in the move, you stop chasing and you start just waiting. So the market at the end of the day is just going to reward patience, and it's going to punish impatience very fast. So this mindset doesn't just apply to gold. I know I trade gold. I would say this mindset doesn't just apply to gold. This mindset could even apply to crypto too, right? Crypto is not a day trading thing for me. It's long-term positioning, thinking in like years, months. We could even do some crypto mindset. We're gonna go talk about the crypto charts, but this is the last slide. If you guys want me to go back to anything, let me know in the chat. Yeah, this mindset doesn't just apply to gold. It applies to any market that you're trading. So remember, going into 2026, remember some of the things that I said. Patience is a position. Having cash, having equity, being on the sidelines, that type of stuff is a position in the market. Not always trying to be involved is the name of the game. The more time you spend inside the market, the more you're exposed to anything, right? The more minutes, the more hours you spend in trades, the more you're exposed to market movement. A lot of times it's good to just be on the sidelines and let things happen to trigger your signals. We're gonna get into the charts now. I want to look at the charts for a little bit. Market's gonna open. I wanted to be on the charts before the market opened up today, just to maybe see how things open up, especially gold. I want to see how gold is ripping all-time highs all 2025. Now we're in 2026, and yeah, we're up here. We finished last week bearish. We had like a huge spike up, and then it reversed the New York session. Oil's gonna go crazy. I want to pull up some articles I found online and some information. But even for crypto isn't something I like to day trade. Crypto day trading is not for me. It's more long-term positioning. Thinking in years, accumulating during times of fear. I think that would be the biggest one. We could say accumulate during in times of fear, and trying to ignore the noise and hype. There's always a lot of hype and noise surrounded by crypto. Money is made, I think, in crypto by extreme patience, like not always trying to predict, having extreme patience. And then, yeah, it comes back to the same thing. Everything we talked about today comes back to like one thing. Just whatever market you're trading, higher standards, less trades, better execution, stronger discipline, not always chasing the market. It's not about being right more often. I think it's about trying to better those times you're right and work on discipline and consistency more. So if you took anything from today, protect the account first, and the opportunities will multiply, right? Money's made from patience, I would say, not prediction. I think money's made from having more patience, not always predicting things. Because patience is going to bring you to that time where it's better to accumulate more than anything. Like crypto has been going down for months, right? We've had every crypto drop for the last like 3-4 months, if I'm not mistaken. Bitcoin started January last year making a top. Like January last year, Bitcoin was making a top around the end of last year. The end of this year, so the beginning of like 2025, Bitcoin was pretty high up in price. Like it was finding a top in the early 2025. We can see in the end of 2025 going into 2026, Bitcoin maybe is making its first local bottom. We're starting to get some structure. Let me move the camera a bit now. Back down here. We'll look at crypto. We're going to look at gold. I got some articles I want to pull up, some information. It was a pretty eventful weekend, to say the least. So what are you guys saying in the chat? Any questions quick in the chat? Anyone? Let me see if I can bump something out. Last Friday Chase. Yo, like crazy. Like gold went up last week. They had a pump. Like it was a bullish week and then reversed. Friday reversal. New York reversal. Let me see what you guys said in the chat. Just up in, they said we just went over so avoid scalping. Like depends what your scalping is like. So what is scalping? Scalping is quick trades. It's not necessarily like 2-3 hour trade. Like scalping, the style of it is getting in and out quick. Like you get out quick. Like it's you take a trade in a few minutes, it goes in profit, you close. Whether you're up 20 pips, 30 pips. So the idea of scalping is not going for a lot of pips it's in and out quick, and a lot of traders are good at doing that with certain assets, right? When you're scalping, you have to be a quick person. Like, naturally, you have to be a quick thinker, a person who has a quick personality. I think someone who's really quick at making decisions, not emotionally attached to the trades. Whether it's a small win, a small loss, or break even. Because with scalping, there's good scalping methods, but it's not about going for X amount of pips. Good scalpers, they get 10, 15, 20 pips, they're out. They reevaluate the same setup. I'll usually scalp into like swing trades. When there's a 4-hour setup, if I have a 4-hour trade setup, something lining up on the 4-hour, that's where I start scalping, because I'll take a trade, might go into a little bit of profit, but give me a pullback. So I'll get like, when I have a trade setup, and I've done this live. I did this live last week. When I have like a trade on the 4-hour, I'll often scalp into a bigger trade. Usually you only use trading view to backtest? Or do you, yeah, I've never heard of that. Maybe I can check it out. I don't know what that is. Maybe I can check it out. But yeah, I usually only use trading view, but I'll check that out. Like, if I'm scalping, it's kind of like I'm going with, like, you gotta watch. I don't know if you've seen the video. I think I've done like 5 scalping lessons live. Like, it's actually, I think, the most live watched video. Let me see. Yeah, it's the most viewed live stream, actually. This one with 1.8 thousand views 11 months ago. That's a scalping training right there, actually, that I do and that I go over. And that would be like the strategy. Like a good scalping method with gold. I couldn't go over it really. Like, that's a 90-minute session. I couldn't go over it quickly here. I did that 11 months ago. I would watch. That's one of the best streams, I think. Everyone who watched that, like, said it was valuable. We did that February 1st, 2025. Maybe we'll do another one February 1st, 2026. So with scalping, you have to be quick at not being emotionally attached to the trade and like always wanting more, because like the style is in and out. And that's where a lot of traders fail with scalping, because they overhold their trades. They let it run to stop loss. You know, they go in profit, or they don't take small losses, small win, break even. I mean, scalping is just kind of about getting that quick reaction. You get a reaction, you get out. Like, you're in a trade, you get a reaction, you get out. It's not about trying to overhold things. I'm gonna send. I was trying to feed the people during the holidays, so I sent some free trades to the Telegram. If you're in the inner circle, I haven't sent it. We finished off December pretty fire. We only had 3 losses. Well, technically I had 4 losses and 15 wins, so it was a good December. Like, I had a pretty good signal month in December. Every trade's there. Receipts are all there. If you guys are in the inner circle, signals smashed for December. Even coming into December, I was doing pretty good. Good signals. We had a good little December, getting ready for January. That's why I sent some signals, because I want to keep the gears going. You know, I want to keep the gears still running. I was like, man, gold. I was looking at gold on Christmas. I was like, holy shit, this thing's moved. I could have sent some signals. And then the next week, it's like, all right, let's see. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna send some signals. I'm gonna just get on some streams, because like there were some opportunities there. If you didn't trade the market but you looked at it, you might have seen, like, damn, there was some opportunities. Like, there was some good buys. There was some things I missed too. I wanted to keep the gears, you know, the gears oiled up, basically, you know. So get ready. They'll be probably this week. Like, we got first week coming. Like, what do we have this week for news? I think we have news this week too. Like the market's gonna open up with volatility regardless, because of what happened on the weekend. But yeah, we got Wednesday, eventful day. And then, yeah, we got the non-farm. So yeah, it'll be a pretty good week of news. So, crypto market was closed on the weekend. So let's pull some articles up. Let's get into some information. Gold, 30 minutes. Let's see how the market opens. I might click buy when it opens. We'll see. Maybe. But yeah, eventful weekend. Silver's been going crazy. So I've seen some cool articles. We're going to talk about silver, gold, crypto here. Silver's being manipulated again. Silver crashed. There was a huge crash. Everybody remembers on December 29th. Nearly 600 billion from the market. And this isn't the first time, actually, the market's been manipulated for silver. I found this, and I've seen this before. What's interesting is silver trades in two very different markets. Paper silver on COMEX, futures, and derivatives. Physical silver in the real world markets. On COMEX, silver is priced around $70 to $73 per ounce. We got silver, yeah, like this is some days ago. But physical silver price tells you a different story. We got Japan, UAE, India. Some countries silver per ounce is way higher. There's $10 to $60 premiums happening on physical silver over paper silver. The reason it exists because paper silver market is massively leveraged. So the paper market is massively leveraged. For every 1 ounce of real silver, there are 400 plus ounces of paper contracts. This means prices can be controlled by paper selling, even when physical silver is scarce. When silver started pumping too fast, margin requirements on silver futures were raised. Yeah. Price sharply raised a few days. This forced leverage traders to either add cash or sell. This does not change the physical supply problem. It suppresses price temporarily. And we have seen this in the past. In 2008 to 2016, JP Morgan traders were caught manipulating gold and silver futures using spoofing. This was proven in court. So yeah, in 2020, JP Morgan paid a $920 million fine for manipulating metals. So we don't think the market's manipulated. Welcome to the markets. Today there's no confirmed proof of any of this, but with silver's run, it's like shorts. Anyone who's shorting silver is getting wrecked right now. Yeah, and as we know, so like the U.S. went into a full-scale military operation on the weekend and captured the Venezuelan president and his wife, took them into custody, and now they're in New York. Yeah, so that happened on the weekend. Overnight, Saturday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they went in there on some Call of Duty Black Ops operation or some Battlefield shit, and the whole area, like it got lightened out, like the whole, it was probably like an EMP. They did like an EMP type of shit where like it went dark. It went dark, yo. They went dark. Signs this could be Bitcoin's bottom. Everyone regrets missing Bitcoin bottom at the lows. Moments like this are how that happens again. So Bitcoin's 2-year rolling out MVRSZ score has fallen to record lows. Historically, conditions like this have preceded significant market turnarounds. So historically, when we look at this chart, this, doesn't mean the market's just gonna go up, but it's a stage. It's a stage we're entering where we're low. Like doesn't mean like things go up, but like we're historically like super low on this, and anytime this orange line has been down here, it's eventually recovered. Anytime it's been super low, so eventually this will recover. I'm not saying it's gonna happen like now or this month, but throughout the next year, possibly when this recovers, and that does mean like price could go down more. Even this is a huge signal that historically people are saying could signal a bottom. Or I would say this is signs that a bottom is in the near future. Like a bottom would be closer. Right? If you look at every time this thing's been low, it stays low and then it goes up. It stays down. It doesn't just like revert out of that. But yeah, there's a lot of news to look into right now. And oil is going to move this week because this is more. What's this more? More about silver again. Yeah. More about like manipulating price because everyone was expecting silver to like pump and then kept going. It had that huge crash. So Venezuela, US, did they just take over Venezuela? It possibly seems that they took over their oil reserves. We'll see like how this plays out because now it's like US would have to make like companies now in the US oil companies would then go to Venezuela, but Venezuela, largest oil reserve in the world, massive gold reserves. They also have significant silver reserves, enormous on just minerals, precious metals, reserves on things. And yeah, like Trump went in there. It's not about politics. It's probably not about politics, all right? It's probably not about politics. Who knows? There's other things going on here, but markets are going to move because of this. Yeah, so like USA, this is like a power arm by USA if they're going to be getting all this oil. I don't want to, this is 6 minutes long. Maybe we can play this in a little bit. Oil reserves by country. Yeah, Venezuela. This is bigger. This is far bigger than most people realize. Venezuela doesn't just have a lot of oil. It has the most proven crude oil reserves on the planet. Roughly 303 billion barrels. At current prices, that's $17.3 trillion. And Trump just said the U.S. now owns it. At current crude prices, that's a multi-trillion-dollar store of energy that literally dwarfs the GDP of most nations. It's 4 times bigger than the GDP of Japan. Think about that. Oil is a sovereign asset tied to currency flows, national budgets, and physical capacity. At 303 billion barrels, Venezuela holds about 1/5 of global proven crude oil reserves. Yeah. For scale, U.S. federal debt is measured on tens of trillions. There's a lot of information here. Oil opens Sunday night. Wait. Forex is open. Well, you look at where USA is. China. I saw something about like China gets their oil. Who China gets their oil from on. So this is gonna create U.S.-China tension. Today's attack on Venezuela has nothing to do with Maduro and everything to do with China. Let me tell you how. Venezuela, again, like we said, holds 303 billion barrels. China is the biggest buyer of Venezuelan oil, typically around 80 to 85% of its total crude exports. So it looks like Trump just took a shot on China without even having to, take a shot. I mean, he took a shot on Venezuela, but that affects China. After the attack on Venezuela, U.S. influence on Venezuelan oil asset is going to increase, and it'll harm China. Okay, this is maybe some facts, maybe some context we're getting here about this. Yeah. After the attack on Venezuela, U.S. influence on Venezuelan oil assets is going to increase, and it'll harm China. But do you think it all started today? You're wrong. The U.S. has been doing everything to block cheap oil imports to China. In 2025, the U.S. escalated tensions with Iran. Coincidentally, China is the largest buyer of Iran oil. So it's much bigger than, they're not going to say this on the news. The news isn't going to tell your everyday average person this stuff. You're not going to go on the news and your everyday, oh yeah, this is what it's like. Yeah, they're going to talk about this guy, the guy, the president that they took. I don't think they're going to be going over this so much on like the mainstream media, but interesting what we're seeing. What's next? I've seen things about Mexico. President Trump says U.S. oil companies will go into Venezuela, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. A lot of Venezuelans are celebrating. Like if you look at, so I seen posts like people happy about him getting captured, them taking him into custody. I see a lot of people happy about that, but yeah, it's gonna take time. You see, this is gonna take time. It's gonna take time, but something he's doing. He's not playing games, as you can see. It's, I guess, another thing. Like it's strategic. It's a chess move. Like this affects China. This isn't just this. Okay, this is a chess move, right, by the man. And he's starting this year like he started last year. Remember how last year started? January, February, March, April. Let's see how this first quarter goes. U.S. takes Venezuela, Russia takes Ukraine, China takes Taiwan. We have this. This is some people's opinions. The world is basically going into like a chess game right now. Some people are saying USA's next step is going to Mexico, taking over the cartel, like the cartel stuff going on down there, and going after the cartel, but there's resources. Look at all these resources. So all these resources. Where was that one post? We're definitely, like, when I started trading, I was learning about Bollinger Bands, overbought, oversold. Look at all these resources. Yo, Dogwoof hat pumped like 20% today. That's hilarious. I know Trump wants Greenland. He wanted Canada. He wants Mexico. He just got Venezuela. Let's say he's got their oil. Canadian trade policy just suffered a massive loss. The one thing USA really needed from Canada was their oil from Alberta. We imported about 4 million. Canada, that's mostly land. Canada might be in the mix there too, because now, yeah, Canada. That's interesting. Canada, how this might affect Canada. If that. There's definitely like the world's definitely on a chessboard right now with all this stuff going on. Interesting. Trade wars. That's what we're seeing. It's continuing. This is more of it. This is going to affect trade policy because different nations, as you know, Canada's a top oil, and Canada's probably going to be exporting to China. If anything, maybe that's probably why USA wanted Canada. If anything, Canada's probably going to be exporting to China unless 51st state. But that yeah, like all this is gonna maybe affect trade policy, some imbalances and stuff there, have some effects, but we'll see. Maybe if some people are saying the US is trying to maintain its empire desperately. It lost the trade war with China, it lost the military with Russia. Venezuela is extremely rich in natural resources, oil, gas, and all the stuff, rare earth minerals, to name a few there. The U.S. wants these, but is unwilling to pay. So they will just seize them. Empires in steep decline resort to looting and theft. Oof. These are just Twitter posts. These aren't anything, we can gain some context from this, opinionative, Yeah, U.S. oil companies. So it's going to take time. So U.S. oil companies, refineries will have to move into Venezuela. Canadian investments about to flood out. Mark Kiney is watching our leverage evaporate. Yeah, Canada had leverage over U.S. with oil. But, yeah, Canada's up there with oil. They'll probably, like I said, export to China. That's one thing they had over leverage. But now that U.S. has Venezuela, it's interesting times. Interesting times, yo. When they ask me, Evan, what were you doing during the trade wars? Evan, what were you doing during the trade wars and tariff wars and trade wars between all the countries? And I was longing some meme coins. What were you doing? What were you doing during the 2025-2026 trade wars? I was longing meme coins. No, like no cap. I'm actually longing meme coins. I got a meme folio loading, yo, right here on Phantom. Meme folio. Pudgy. Whiff. Bonk. Pepe. I got a meme folio, so it's like, what were you doing during the trade wars? I was longing meme coins. I was longing meme coins. What were you doing during the trade wars? I'll get more whiff. I was longing meme coins and some altcoins. Venezuela currently holds 408 metric tons of silver and 161 metric tons of gold. At today's prices, we're not just talking billions, we're talking hundreds of billions. What were you doing during the trade wars, the oil, all this, everything? A longing bonk, Pepe, dog with hat, pudgy penguins. Let's see what we can turn this portfolio. I got a couple. I've been stacking some coins. I don't know if you guys saw. I posted the other day. I made a new buy the dip portfolio. I got all these coins. Like I added. This is what I've been adding, and it's bigger now. I actually added more. But I've been adding at these prices. I think I have like 4,000 ICP now. Fucking loaded on ICP. Need that thing to go to like $14 or $20. Load it up. I loaded up on some Solana. I got like 100 more Solana. I got 50,000 H bar now. I added more. I've been adding to some coins at these levels. Literally over the last week. Built up a mini portfolio. Added to a couple meme coins. I could. Nothing crazy at the moment, but we'll see what we can flip some of these numbers to this year. Canada oil is landlocked, hard to export to Asia, depend on one buyer. Oh shit. Canada, yo, get into the mix. Trump just gave Bitcoin its biggest use case yet. Invades Venezuela, warns Mexico, Cuba, and Colombia that their countries could be next. This is why Bitcoin is pumping. When the world's reserve currency is used to seize 17 trillion in natural resources, people lose their trust in the system and buy into the only thing no government can seize. Venezuelan oil is now U.S. oil. But Bitcoin is still the people's money. Let's go. So stocks that will benefit from this situation. So integrated producers, Chevron, CVX, Exxon, XOM, refineries, VLO, PSX, Phillips, 66, Marathon Petroleum, oil tankers. So these might be some things to keep an eye on if you're like into that sector of things that could move. These might benefit. These are different U.S. oil, different companies. Like we got these should be familiar. Yeah, it's a bunch of the same stuff. Yeah, even if the U.S. sells this oil for half of the market rate, is oil about a dump? Is U.S. like, are they gonna take over the oil or just Trump's? What if we see oil just dump? Right? They just sell it. These are some people's opinions. I don't think they would all just happen at once because I think their plan is right to go. They control that oil now. And I think their plan is to move companies into there and fix the oil manufacturing problem. Markets will react. We're about to react in like 9 minutes, like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Markets are going to react. What will happen now to Iraq oil? You're witnessing the greatest retaliation of value systems in history of the world play out in real time. Crypto, like these prices, like when we look at Bitcoin started last year off making a top in January. We're maybe making a local bottom now. Like we actually got like the first signs of, okay, we could be making a short-term bottom here, local bottom potentially on Bitcoin. Like we managed to hold this low, so we are still above like this previous structure point, which is like the lowest point of 2025. So this was 2025's lowest point on Bitcoin. So like at the moment, price is looking healthy. Like this is the lowest point for Bitcoin in 2025, right? So like for now, we've been able to stay above that. Altcoins, I've been longing some altcoins, H bar. Like altcoins, I look at, they're so low, they're good to accumulate. Like I think anything's good to accumulate. Like I said that last week when I was streaming, because people are asking. Anyone who asked like last week and was on the streams I did all last week and the week before, I said like at these prices, it's good to accumulate because you never know when something just jumps 20, 30%, you know, like, and we're maybe seeing a little bit of that right now on some coins. We talked about that the last 2 weeks. So that was what I said in the last 2 weeks. And it's still like at these prices, like most of the coins I have like altcoins, like I have Jupiter. It's so low. It's like at these prices, why not accumulate? If this is a coin, like I'm not accumulating Jupiter, but for the coins that I have, they're so low. I'm not going to sell them at these prices. I'm just going to hold them. Or add a little bit to some of them. Like I'm going to add a bit because they're so low, I could just get a good extra quantity. And for these prices that they're at, it's like when the market does recover, even from these prices, there's good gains. So like a lot of the coins I'm holding, like Jupiter's super low. H bar, I added to H bar. I have a good bag of H bar, like over 500,000 coins on H bar now. And it's super low. I look at it like, okay, these are the cheaper prices I want to buy at. When it's like in terms of buy low, sell high, or like I was saying with crypto, well, you want to accumulate in times of fear. Crypto's not day trading for me. It's more long-term positioning. So thinking in years, thinking in months, right? Cheaper prices, lower prices, right? And that's where the market's at for pretty much everything. Even XRP, when XRP was at $1.80, I was saying this. When we were on December 29th, I was saying, where was XRP last year? And it was relatively around this price, like a year, like XRP, we're at, you know, January 4th, XRP was like pushing up last year. But the last stream we did when we talked about this, December 29th, I was saying, where was XRP last year? And it's like, oh, it wasn't that far off. So it's like, these are good prices to accumulate. Whatever project you look at, XRP, a lot of alts are super low, right? So I would say pick a few that are, like I was even saying the same thing I said 2 weeks, saying the same thing I said 2 weeks ago and last week when the market was down. It's like, these are the prices that if you could maybe chip in on some things, accumulate some things, if the market recovers, because we never had like a full blow off top in crypto, whether that takes a year, 2 years, right? From these prices, there could be some good gems to find. Like everything's been pretty much on a down for the last like 133 days. Sui's been down like months, a couple months now. We've seen the market dragging down. So it's been bleeding out, right? Like this is Chainlink. Chainlink's been down for the last pretty much 133 days, right? It's at price levels that it was, like if we look at a year ago where Chainlink was before 2025, it's at low price levels where support could come in, right? Most coins are in this type of state where they're considerably low. So Chainlink is one of my it would be probably right now one of my top, like my top 10 for me. Maybe it might be like top 7, to be honest. I have a good amount of Chainlink. I have to update everything this week and let you guys know. If you're in the inner circle, I'm going to be adding to the calendar tonight. It's Sunday, so we're going to be streaming all week. We're going to be streaming tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way up until next Saturday. So we're going to be streaming all week, every day, probably multiple times a day this week. Market opens up soon. I'm going to update my portfolio, see where some things are at. Chainlink might be a top 5 for me right now, just because of the amount I have and the price that it's at. Like it's at $14, whereas some coins that I have are at 12 cents, 15 cents, or much lower price, like for the amount that I have. Chainlink might be a top 5 for me right now, to be honest. Dog with hat, like meme coins pumped today. Dog with hat moved 20% today. I saw that. Like it had like a 20 to 30% day, if I'm not mistaken. Meme coins are moving. That's a sign of like liquidity coming back into the market. Like you can see structures actually just shifted on some coins. Not every coin, but there were some structure shifts on like the daily for a good amount of coins. We've seen like finally like some clear price action to read. You look at the daily, a lot of coins just did like a daily structure shift. And everything's low. Like if like Polkadot's low as fart. Gold's about to open. A lot of things just did like a daily structure shift. Polkadot did. Litecoin kind of. I've noticed if you look at a lot of charts, we just kind of made some price action we want to start to see at these lows. So for now, it looks like a low has been kind of set in for the market, like short term. That could possibly turn into a longer term. It does look like that. Like even Sui kind of has a structural shift trying to happen. Look at the weekly. It's trying to break these highs. You can go to a good amount of coins on the daily and see for like, okay, we have some structure broken on a good amount of them. Started to notice that. Let's see where Zcash is at. There's a lot of coins that are low. Like ICP is super low. Like look at the weekly on ICP. It's like, how could I not accumulate a little bit of this? For me personally, my opinion, it's like, what am I gonna wait for? $2, $1? Like I don't think it'll go that low, but it's like these are the prices that, in terms of strategy, I want to be accumulating at. I don't want to be fearful and overthink it. Oh, can it go down to $2 or $2.50? Does it liquidate? Does it spike down? It's like if the market's at these market's at some bottoms, so you can see like this thing's super low. So for me, these are the prices and the spots for the chart I don't want to miss out on. It's like this is where I'm more aggressive. This is where I become more greedy. It's like I don't want to be fearful in these times. It's like in these times I want to have some conviction. Because if things recover, it's like there could be some really good gains. ICP is super low. Sui is super low. Everything, like, where's Sui at? Everything came down for the last months. So, over 100 days, pretty much everything's been coming down for the last, like, Sui, 154 days, and started to spike up. If we were looking for, like, a bottom to be set in on coins, like, this could be a first sign of a local bottom. This is where we're more likely to find it. Everything's probably super oversold. Yeah, gold, like forex.com, depending on your broke, gold's gonna open like 5 minutes. Silver's Silver's spiking up, so gold's probably gonna rip up. Silver just spiked up. Gold's probably gonna spike up. Like, I think let me see if my broker's even open. Is my broker open? Oh yeah, gold just, damn, fucking hell. There it goes. It just had a huge gap. Yep. Yep. Market's open. What's crude? Let me see on here. Oil, natural gas. Let's see these things. When are they open? Are they open? Witty. How is it? Are these moving yet? Oh. Oil. Natural gas. It's like oil, natural gas. Those things are gonna move. Gold just spiked right up. Yeah, gold would have been good to buy. Literally, like, a lot of times Friday will be in a great position to buy or sell, like, at the end of the day. Gold just spiked up. There's a gap, like, some kind of a gap, though. I wouldn't just buy it. I would probably wait for a retrace. Like, the setup, like, there's no setup. The setup was, like, literally, like, Friday. Yeah, gold obviously reacting like that. I mean, makes sense. Conflict over the weekend. Makes sense. Well, we got new week loading. We got gold gonna gap up. Well, just gapped up. We got a new week loading. Nothing to chase. We don't need to chase price. Again, let's not forget about the talk that we had at the beginning. Yeah, gold's open now. It's up. I don't like spikes. Like, a lot of times it'll spike and there's a gap. Like, it could retrace that gap. It's kind of obvious that, like, it spiked up. We shouldn't be surprised by that. We had the news on the weekend. Well, going into this week, like, look where gold is trading right now. It's above 4,300. Like, we have a strong support here. Yeah, it might hold this low. Like, 4 hour has this. We had the high here. We took out that high as well. 4 hour looks interesting on the structure with gold. 4 hour structure looks interesting when you look at it like that. Damn, they don't have the chicken. Or in some chicken. Ordering some chicken. Yeah, the last, like, this, if we look at gold, it's two things. So, see how price dumped here and here. So it's two things. Maybe kind of, yeah. See this big drop gold did? All right, we had that. We had a big drop. So the big question is it going to hold that and go up and recover, like retrace, just kick back the uptrend quickly? That's a big question, right? Now it maybe be like what it did here. See how there was a big drop here? It went up and then it held the structure and ended up just going up in the uptrend. So, like, when we look at these drops, we've had two of them. There's one here. There's one here. We've had two of these. Now we just got the third one. Right? So, I'm bullish on gold. You guys can see why I've always been just buying, because the buy opportunities are always there. They're there when, like, someone asked last stream I did, do you ever take sells? And I was like, a few, but I've been taking more buys because they've been working and they're there. Like, I'm spotting them and they're there consistently. The buys are there, so I'm still always looking for those buys. I still have that bullish bias long term on gold because I feel like they're still there, and nothing showed me like, okay, we're just gonna go on a downtrend yet. We're this whole Venezuela stuff just happened, and behind all of that, we have so much other news and stuff. Like, behind what just happened on this past weekend, there's still a lot of other stuff behind it, and who knows what's to unfold as well. We don't know what else is going to unfold in the next 3 to 4 months. So that uncertainty is still definitely there, I think, because I don't think who knows what's to kind of unfold in the next couple of months, right? To say the least, versus like what we've seen just this past weekend. So it's definitely interesting times, to say the least. Definitely interesting times. But those, like, if we look at gold, like, it could go on. So it could go on with an extension. Like, if we look at this area, if we look at this area here, I'm going to make it blue, or let's make it blue. Right here, blue area here. Right. There could be another drop. There could potentially be. So if you look, this had a dump, and then we had a continuation. So if that happens, if we get another, let's say we get another drop on gold, then it's like that next leg down would create great buying opportunities. That's a possibility when you kind of look at things from the bigger, when you zoom out a bit, because we had a huge, like, this drop, it reminds me of just these two. When we look behind us, we had this drop here, which is pretty similar, right? So when we're looking at, like, it's two things. Do we hold this area? Does this make a support? We can see there was some, like, wicks down even. There's support here. Do we make a bigger support here, try to recover, go back up faster, more aggressively? Or is there, like, a lower price coming in? That's like when you're looking at the price of gold right now, the sustainability with it, the demand for it, that in the time of the year too. Remember, we're going in January. February, March tends to be like a bullish season for gold. There is that $4,300 level, which is like maintaining overall. And this is where, when you're looking for entries day by day, it's really just going to the market at the right times. Like, this entry would have been, you wouldn't have caught this trade unless you were holding at the end of Friday. For me, dips are for buying on gold. For me, like, big dips are for buying on gold. So that could be something like this that really dips back into a demand area or an order block, something like this. You can see where gold finished off Friday. It created that high, and we made higher highs than that. You can see how we pushed up into Friday. We made that high, and you can see where this dip, crash, you might call it a crash, you might call it a dip. You could see where that comes back into, right? You could see where that comes back into. It trades into another volume point, or so some might say a demand area or an order block right here, where I just circled. So dips are for buying on gold. 2025 really showed us that into certain areas, prices, key levels, structure, demand zones. This is a demand zone. Why is it a demand zone? Look how price pushes up cleanly, trades back into that, creates rejection here. Maybe not at an optimal time, but that's the thing about gold. It can do that. Not the optimal time, but that's the tricky part about gold. It'll literally give you a perfect trade at 2 p.m. on a Friday. Literally, it'll do that. We could almost see like a head and shoulders forming here, right? We have the resistance here, right? We're just kind of in a rectangle. We're in this range. We almost see like accumulation happening all in here. So like we have to watch and see how strong this wants to go. Does it want to break out of this top side? Give us a pullback for possible continuations, right? Looks like we want to come back to the high. Are we going to reject the high or break through it? If we reject it, we come back down and we maybe look for like retests at a different area. For now, market's opened up strong. Gold has, you can see how gold's open. Silver too. Silver pushing up. Silver looks like it's gone on a little bit of a pause. Right. It looks like it's sort of paused here. More like a consolidation. The price is above 70. It looks like it's maintaining $70. Like that $70 low 70s, $70 low 70 have a lot of demand, have a lot of support for silver. We got like the low 70s creating like a demand threshold, and silver looks like it's maintaining and holding above that price. You can see the lows that have been created around the lower 70s for silver. Silver looks like it's more like in a symmetrical triangular pattern here that a breakout could be trying to load up for silver, maybe back to the 80s or higher. Silver looks interesting, different than gold. Shows like a pause. Gold also kind of has like a pause. There's a gap. Yeah, see, gap. Like that gap could get retraced. That's why it's not good to chase this movement. Like you could maybe get some quick momentum. Like this is like momentum trading breakout if you're taking buys, but there is a gap. If you look at it, like there is a gap that could get retraced. I could try to go back into it. So you got to watch out. Silver 4 hour looks pretty interesting. Like silver, even 1 hour on silver, you have this low that created a higher high here and you broke out and we just made this low. If silver goes up, that's bullish, right? It'll probably pull back, continue up. The lower 70s have definitely created like some support there for silver. It could be trying to maintain it. XAU starting the week off hot for XAU. Don't be worried about missing price like this. The key thing is sessions, right? Sessions. So there could be entries later on gold. If gold could go up, it could go up, and that's whatever. We could find an entry between late Tokyo or maybe London. We have the whole week ahead to focus on different times of the day to see how price is lining up. Obviously, market open, there's times you can catch quick trades. Like if it doesn't open so aggressively like that, it opened pretty strong. What do you like? Friday ended off with a good 4 hour rejection. So any dips, like dips for me are for buying on gold. Dips are for buying. Like there's different kinds of dips though on this chart, and you could see like there's a dip here. There's also a dip here. So just in like one structure, there's 3 dips. You have like waves there. The market makes waves. You can see 3 different dips there. Now, the problem I'm telling you with gold isn't finding the entries. It's because if you're buying here, good trade. Maybe you're buying on that candle, good trade. it didn't go hundreds of pips. I called it a trade right here, actually. You can see there's like 3 dips in here. 1, 2, 3 dips. Dips for me are for buying. It's gonna be different dips at different times. This is going into London session. And then there could be like ones that are more controlled, like here, where price has gone down for hours. You can see here. If you look at the times, if you look at any time gold really like has a pretty extreme drop, usually turns into like a buy the dip situation. Any of these pullbacks get bought up. You get multiple waves here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So for me on gold, 2025 like proved it to a lot of us. Like dips are for buying on gold. Now, the problem isn't getting the entries because there's many there's I don't want to say many. There's multiple entries available, and it's when we're looking for hundreds of pips on every single entry. Like some entries we gotta understand aren't gonna hit the home run. Like we may have to swing a couple times or just take what the market gives me. Small win, small loss, medium win. For me, that's why I trade the way I do. I trade on small account balances, higher risk. And I have my big account that's funded. That's up almost 30K right now. I got to show you some trades that I actually took last week. Now, finding entries on these dips isn't the hard part. It's where like you get emotionally attached to just one of them. So re-entry is not a hard thing to get used to, finding re-entries on gold. Because let's say you find a good trade on gold and you're like, I want to target 300 pips, something. It's the problem when you marry one setup at one time. And then, you don't wait for that next setup to maybe find itself or confirm itself. There could be different entries that you could find on gold, right, in a day. Now is what's a home run to you? What's a good trade? I think a good trade is just executing well, finding the entry, getting out in profit. Like my goal is to make money in the market. So I'm not trying to be emotionally attached to every trade. It's like if I am, I might hold this trade too long or re-enter it or chase it too long or over risk it, right? Like maybe I don't have a stop loss or maybe I'm over trading the first setup or maybe I'm targeting too many pips and I just overhold it. Just different things you could maybe run into, revenge trading, over trading. And then like that could make you be blind to the next opportunity. Or the next opportunity, right? Maybe it's lower at a different price here. Or be blind to like one of the next opportunities. Because like trades are going to hit. Like there's trades that are going to hit more than others. It's just about being consistent with your approach and strategy and entering. And not being scared at times. Like there's been many times in my trading where I take a trade and it doesn't perform as well. Like maybe it goes up a couple pips. Maybe it's like I go into profit and it comes back to entry. If you overforce those trades, you'll miss the next entry. You'll miss the next setup. And I had to go through years of understanding that, or years of getting used to taking a trade, taking the loss, and then seeing the next setup. And that happened from just entering trades early for me. So dips, for me, dips, when I see like a strong dip on gold, depending on like where it is, if it's in a good zone, I watch it closely. I don't just enter right away. I watch it closely. I'll keep an eye on price. Because time and time, and you're going to run into a couple times where the dips are extreme, like something like this, where it's just kind of maybe uncontrollable. Like if you're looking at this huge sell-off that happened on gold here, there was a huge sell-off. And maybe you're chasing the first dip or the second one. This is why, like, being able to lose and know, okay, there's going to be another setup. Because, like, when you lose correctly, you'll be in a position that you're like, damn, it's a good thing I closed my trade. Or, damn, it's a good thing I had a stop loss. Or, damn, it's a good thing I got out of that trade before it dropped even more. Because there could be a multitude of dips sometimes on gold, like something like this that honestly is extreme. And you kind of have the mindset to be, like, disciplined through waiting it out. Because, like, there could have been, in this, there could have been 3 buying opportunities. Now, they weren't all perfect. One here. Another one would have been somewhere in here. Definitely, like, somewhere in here. Maybe after that wick on the green candle. There could have been a buy in here, too. Now, wasn't perfect, but there was confirmation there. And then, like, the last buy was down here. So, it's like, it's not always going to be perfect with even trades that look perfect. Like, you could have a trade that's like, yo, it looks perfect. It looks like a good buy in front of me. Like, there's a perfect trade setup in front of you. And you're confident. You're taking it. It could still lose. That doesn't mean that next trade can't win, right? Or that next trade isn't that one that you were looking for. So, like, when I'm trading, I understand I have to stay consistent with my strategy because I know it works. Like, I know it works. If I don't take the trades, it's not gonna work. And that's why I'm, like, consistent the way I am, because I take the trades when they're there. Like, I take the setups when they're there. Don't hesitate. I'll lose, but losing, you only get better, right? When you lose, I think. Like, you learn, right? Like, for me, like, I'll lose in situations where maybe I'm entering and it's something like this. I enter on this candle, or I enter after that candle. That's typically where I have, like, a losing situation, is on a trade like that. So a lot of times I understand, like, I'm not always mad about my losses, because it's like the same reason I take a losing trade at times is the exact reason I take winning trades. So I don't get mad at times when I lose a trade, because especially if I'm entering the same reason I enter winning trade, like the same reason, winning trade, losing trade, right? I don't get mad at a loss, because it's like, okay, I know this is still consistent with the strategy, and this usually helps me get into winning trades. So gold, it's by the dips. The pumps, sell the pumps is what we've been seeing. It looks like a trading range basically has been starting out. So we kind of like, and that's between 4,400 and 4,300. So we got 4,300 and 4,400. We could cut it in half and say, okay, this is 4,350. I could try to see if it stays above 4,350. I would say 4,350 is cut in half. Like, there's a trading range. You could see there was a perfect rejection at 4,400 on gold. So that's a whole number. If you want to get good at trading gold this year, focus on the whole numbers. You want to get good at entries, location, focus on the whole numbers. Whether it's buying or whether it's selling. Look at 4,400. That's the top. We got 4,300 down here. 4,300. In the middle, we got 4,350. All right. There is some breakout, like 4,350. Price can break below it and break above it. You can see there's resistance at 4,350 here. There's also a little support there, wick. So for now, like, Friday was actually perfect sells at 4,400. If you look at that, break it down to a 2 hour, kind of rejected there. 1 hour, like, how did it look like on a 5 minute? It broke the low here. I didn't even see that Friday morning. This thing dumped Friday. That's a Friday sell off. 4,350. I mean, like here we broke above 43.50 and we did stay above it. I mean, that could be, if you're bullish, maybe something to consider. Market's probably going to try to pull back to 43.50. It's made resistance here. So it'll probably come back to 43.50. Maybe that's an area to watch. 43.50, 43.40. See to the left, like, there was a nice setup with 40 here. It hit 43.50 here. London session. I'll probably try to come back to that. Like, there's a range right now, so we just got to watch price throughout the week. Maybe play with the range. I could also see if it gets like above 4,400 this week, it's potentially going to go up above that, like break above that, 4,400. But yo, so we got the first stream 2026 loading. We're going to be on all week though, guys. So sometimes trading's boring. We're going to be on all week, right? I know some people have been crushing it inside the inner circle and even just outside too. Belief level going up. Biggest trade amount I made at one time, my personal account ever. I didn't even see this one yet. I'm closing like 2 pips early. That's fine. You know, if your trade's almost near your take profit, you know, you don't got to hold it to the exact number. It's close. December. Some people had a good December. December was truly the best month trading. Only made $410, but consider it my best month because I followed my rules. I was patient. I didn't chase trade. I felt like a pro. I had a mental shift. It's a breakthrough year. Good shit. Good shit. Scalping. Someone says scalping there. Inside the inner circle for around a month now, past phase 1 and phase 2 of their FTMO challenge in 4 days. Phase 1 and phase 2 that same month took a payout. Membership paid back in 3 weeks. New payout is already on the way as well. This shows Evan knows what he's talking about. Simplicity, but works very well. Don't overcomplicate trading. That's what it's all about. Some people had some pretty interesting results over the holidays. I saw in Discord some pretty interesting results. New year, new payouts. Oh, some nice payouts there. 600, 100. Oh, nice. There were some people who crushed it. Like, we weren't as active during the holiday week because holidays and stuff. I was with my family the last 2 weeks pretty much. But literally we had people printing during the holidays, during Christmas. Some people made Christmas money and New Year's money. So the week before that, I sent signal. Like the 2 weeks before Christmas, I sent some signals. And then you guys even saw after Christmas, I sent some signals. So yeah, we had some good results during the holidays. I was like, it was good to see people making money. Rose up $5,700, just like casual. Like just during the Christmas holidays, people printed tens of thousands of dollars, which is crazy. Slow season. I sent those 2 signals, I think before New Year, but even before that, people were crushing it on their own. My second 1K day this month. That's the power of gold right there. Lot size, account size, you know, the right setup, the right move. $1,000 flipped to $2,000. Now that's 100% on one trade. So like that's the power of gold trading now. When you do something like that, because that's how you scale. Like if you could get a good trade setup like this, obviously this person was selling around $4,500. You can make, like, I do it every week almost, like you can make 100% on one trade, but it's really about the setup, the risk. You're not going to do it on 1%. This person probably wasn't risking 1%. You know, they have a couple lot size there, 005, 005, 005, 0.25. like a 0.25 lot size. That's one setup. That's from that point you can scale, because then it's like you could go risk $50 a trade, $100 a trade, whatever your risk tolerance is. Like, you got to find your risk tolerance. This is what I tell people. You got to find your risk tolerance in trading. Because I've had people, like, there's people, like, this person took $68 to $610. That's pretty much 10x. Look at this. Look how they start. So I'll show you how they start. Look how they start. They start with $68. So 001's obviously higher leverage. This is leverage trading right here. $68. This is the beginning of the trade. So they were catching gold buys when it dumped. And this is the stuff I've taught all through the year. I think they caught buys like here or something. The right risk, like, this is $68. $68 is not a lot of money, but it's, if you could trade it correctly, if you could trade it, this is obviously high risk, aggressively, you can make money. Yeah, look at them. Yeah. And then it goes on. Pretty crazy result from one trade. Now, this person's been in the inner circle for a while. You can actually go to one of the, I posted a testimonial video about this person here. This guy went from making like $200 days, $50 days, $100 days to having $2,000, $3,000 days in months. That's actually him right here with the $68 to $610 flip here. And it's crazy because he's done this multiple times. Like, it's not the first time he's done this. Like, he's done this like plenty of times. Let me see if I can find any of his other posts. Yeah, here, just to show you, like, for example, this one person's done this multiple times. Let me see. Let me see if I can find. I mean, he has a lot of, these are all his results. I could create a bunch of results. Let's see if we can find one of those smaller ones. $113 to $564. Wait, I gotta go back. Yeah, I gotta go back to like older ones. Yeah, we gotta go back to like here. So here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. $30 to $480. Now this was in May. Mind you, last week he did $68 to $610. Where is it? I think it was here. No, wait, it was in school. This is in May. $30 to $480. It's pretty crazy. And then it went from $400. So it went from $30 to $440. Then from $440 to $1,500. Pretty crazy. There's another one. 100 to 700. Now, we've had lots of people be able to do stuff like this. Like, not just one, two people. Like, lots of people have been able to do this. I think it's the power of gold trading, the right mindset, the right understanding of the market, and mastering your emotions. Like, mastering your discipline, mastering your patience, mastering, like, your anxiety, your greed, your FOMO. Like, mastering all those types of things to wait for good trade setups. This person went from $400 to $4,000. Those things like that. And I think once you kind of, once you have one of these days, like one of these breakthroughs, like, this was their first $1,000 day almost. This person had almost their first 1K day. Once you kind of have a day like that, it's a real breakthrough in the market. Gold. So when are we going to look for signals? I'm probably going to be looking for signals mainly around these times. If you're inside the inner circle, I'm going to be sending signals all month. We're going to have a calendar. So I'm going to add to the calendar tonight. Once I'm done this stream, I'm going to add to the calendar and get that updated for you guys that are inside the inner circle. So yeah, we're gonna have a full calendar for January. Starting this week, well, tomorrow, the 5th, January 5th. So I'm going to pack these days up. I'll show you guys tomorrow. You guys will see maybe in a couple of hours. So yeah, we're starting the year off. We're going to be keeping an eye on gold every day. Around different sessions, I'm going to stream around these times. So it's either going to be late Tokyo or a London session stream or a New York session stream. So pretty much around the times where gold sets up, right? You don't always got to look at the chart. There might be some Telegram signals. I might sneak some out there in January. I'm going to try to, and Discord. But we'll see. We'll see if there's any signals tonight. Like it's day one. So it's kind of getting back into the groove. Seeing some price movement. We don't got to chase, I want to get back into the groove, see some price movement, see some structure, see some stop losses get liquidated and stuff like that. See some manipulation. Get a little flow and feel for price. I don't like to say dip my toes in the water, but kind of get a feel for some market movement before getting aggressive, I want to find that flow, find a little bit of rhythm, and that just takes consistency on the chart. So just showing up. So first step, just showing up every day. Gonna get the schedule in for Inner Circle and YouTube this week. I'll be popping up on YouTube, but I'll mainly be in the Inner Circle this month. But yeah, we'll get the schedule loading. It's gonna be a good month. So first step is just consistency, showing up every day like a job. It's kind of like that. Like a lot of you guys are maybe going back to work, right? Holidays are over. So I think maybe some of you guys are heading back to work, right? Maybe this week or after this week. Holidays are over. So showing up, consistency, right? Showing up every day like a job. So picking times. So I'm going to pick my times tonight that I'm going to schedule, that I'm going to go live. I'll be live twice a day, all January. Some days I'll be live 3 times a day. So all January we'll be live 2 to 3 times a day. Mainly 2 times a day. All January, we're going to be live 2 times per day. And yeah, soon we got the website rolling out. For those of you guys that are in my Inner Circle, we got phase 2 loading soon. I'm going to be working on a good amount of videos to add to the new course. But yeah, phase 2 is loading. We got Inner Circle Elite phase 1. Phase 2 is coming out very, very soon. Soon we're just going to be streaming inside the website. So all the sessions are going to go basically on here. So soon we're just going to be streaming on the website. This is just a blueprint of what it looks like right now. It's not done yet. Going to be adding some stuff to it, tweaking it. But this is on rollout for February. Sometime in February, I'm going to roll this out. We have a trading journal. I haven't showed everything on here. Have I clicked on my hub? I'll just show a few things like classroom. We're going to be live streaming through here. So instead of on a YouTube link, I'm going to be able to just stream through here and everything will be recorded and accessible through here. Inner Circle is, I'll put the link in the chat. When do you know you're ready to quit your job? That's the thing. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to. You could still have a job and trade. I'm telling you, I have most of the people inside my Inner Circle have jobs. They work full-time jobs. Or a lot of them are older than me and have careers, families. And a lot of people, there's 641 members. A lot of them still work. They've learned how to keep up with things. So one thing is, you get better the more time you put into trading. But here, let me explain with a testimonial, for example. Because a lot of the people that are inside my community have jobs. And that's one thing I understand about this. But I tell everybody, and I don't know if you're in the Inner Circle or not. Someone asked, how do I know when I'm ready to quit my job? Don't be worried about quitting the job. It's not the goal right now. Your goal is to get good at trading, right? Your goal is to practice and get good. You want to get good at trading, right? Your goal is not to quit the job, because quitting the job is not in the way of becoming a good trader. Like your job is not in the way of you being a good trader. You're just not skilled enough yet. You need more time in the market. Yeah, your job might be New York session or in London session. It's key time. You can't watch the market all the time. That's not the problem, I'm telling you. That's not the problem. That's not the way to think. It's not the way to think. The job isn't necessarily in the way of developing you. So your goal shouldn't be to quit the job. Your goal should be, this is here as, backup in a sense, right? Like, it's your cushion, right? You need that job to support your trading business. Think of trading, when you start out, think of trading like a business, right? You just started a business, and maybe your business is worth $100, your trading account, right? And you can make $20 a week. It's not about looking at the money. It's about looking at, can I maintain a profitable business over the year? Whether you make $20 a week, whether you make $50 a month, $100 a month, can you maintain a profitable business? So you want to have a business mindset, because trading is a business. Your job is going to help you maintain that business, because you might blow accounts along the way. You might lose money along the way, right? Trading's a risky investment, right? You can lose money. You can lose yourself, right? You don't want to risk everything at once. You want to learn how to scale. It's like, when I was working a job, my last job was 11 years ago. 11 years ago is when I worked 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. I used to work a full-time job. So I haven't worked a job in 10 years. Now, my job paid me like $1,500 to $2,000 a month, right around there. $1,500. Well, I can't even write it. My job paid me $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Okay, my job. So that's what I was making monthly, $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I was maybe making like $23,000 a year with everything, like $23,000 per year USD, right? So I looked at the lane that I was in, and I was like, okay, how can I take the $2,000 I'm making a month right now and get it to $2,500, or get it to $2,800 or $3,000? Not quit the job, but how can I get that $2,000 to $2,400, $2,500? Because then I'm just increasing my lane. Your goal should be to not get to 10K a month, 50K a month right away. It's like, look at where you are, look at what lane you are right now, and how can you increase that with what you have? Because everybody's maybe just in a different place in life, right? But how can where you are right now, you add an extra $250 to your monthly life, or $250 to $500, right? For a lot of us, it's trading. So now it's, what account balance do I need? What account balance would I need to maintain monthly to make that 200, that 500, that extra $1,000 a month? How much trades would I need to take per week, per day, or how much am I going to risk on the first trade? Like, what's my risk tolerance? Am I risking $50 a trade? Am I risking $20 a trade? Am I risking $100 a trade? Right? I mean, it's looking at where you are in life and not trying to get too far ahead of yourself. Because if you're trying to jump to 10K a month, if you're making $1,500, $2,000 a month or something like that, and you're trying to jump to $10,000 a month, it's going to make the job harder on yourself. So your first goal should be to become a good trader with where you're at. And if you're trying to, for example, let me see if I can find something. Again, I just showed you someone who took $68 to $610 in the last week, right? So they made $610 from $68. And I'm going to find another one who did $50 to $480. So again, whether this person's working a job or not, they did this with their income, with their skill set. And he was actually able to quit his job. I'm pretty sure he was able to quit his job or get a different one. He was a full-time mechanic. He was working a mechanic job. It was either an engineer or mechanic job. I'm pretty sure it was a mechanic job. He was working in a factory. A result like this is what you could try to aim for as someone who has a job, let's say. Or like low risk, high reward. Because when you have a job, you're busy, right? So you want to make the most out of what you do. You don't want to overtrade. You don't want to overtrade and always be on the market. You want to make most of what you're able to do. You have to be efficient with your risk. Because if you're taking trades that have high probability, you're risking money, right? You're risking money on these setups. You don't want to waste your time not making the most out of something you're good at. If you're good at finding trades, you want to make the most out of it. How can you make the most out of it when you have a job? Well, you need to start small. Small risk, high reward. Small risk meaning small balance, right? We trade gold, so that adds to the high reward. Being able to trade gold adds to higher reward. You want to aim for results like this, because like I have a lot of students who are doing this type of stuff, taking $100 accounts to $500 or $678 in the week. I could scroll back to the last week and probably show you 5-10 different people who deposited maybe like smaller amounts and flipped it to bigger amounts. And most of these people have jobs. Here is $68 to over $610. It's not about how active you are, how much you're on the charts. It's about how effective you are at the times you can be, right? Or the time that you're putting in. And with that being said, it takes getting good at trading. Like, you got to get good at trading. It's not just like putting more time. Like, this person took $256. Look at their equity. So they're at like 600 or something. Oh, wow. Look at that trade. Jeez. I hope they close that. I want to find something that might, if you're talking about job, someone who's around like a job, I bet 60-70% of these people have jobs, and they're doing fine. They have their job, that's not going away, but they're able to now have 2 lanes, right? That's how you're gonna get to 10K in a way, like safer. Like, to get to 10K, like, it's like, you could, the funded challenges is another route too, like getting funded challenges and stuff like that. That's a route people go trying to get. But I think, like, to quit your job, you have to have a meaningful amount of money and trust your capabilities. You have to know, without that paycheck coming, I trust my abilities enough to bring in profit this week or this month. And then at that point, less needs to be more. Your weeks need to be concreted into months. Like, it's when your weeks turn into your months. So one profitable week is a month of working, because then you don't have to trade every week. Because, like, if you're looking at, I need to quit my job so I can trade more, the one thing is full-time traders don't trade all the time. Full-time traders trade with more risk. They're more efficient on what they do. Like, full-time trading is either more capital, more risk, people who trust their abilities. You want to be a full-time trader, it's going to take years to get there. It's not going to happen overnight unless boom, you know, some people go the funded route, some people go the funded challenge route, and boom, they got a 100K funded account and they consider themselves a full-time trader, but then things might get hard from there maintaining that. Becoming a full-time trader is not about trading every week. If you should quit your job when you can turn your weekly, like your weekly profit is your monthly profit, right? It's like, until you're able to make in a week what you make in a month at your job, you shouldn't even consider it. Because all you need is one good trading week, and that could be the first week of the month, right? You don't need to trade every week at that point if you're able to make gold with the should we just long gold this week? I withdrew. I got a deposit. I withdrew 15K before this crypto went up, so I bought some stuff. I only have like $700. I withdrew 15K. I left like $700 in my account. I got a deposit in this thing if I'm gonna. I got some moves to make, but like, This might be easier to start with. Keep the job. Try to have weeks like this. Because until you can, like, have that weekly turnaround, be like, you know, like I can make in a day. I can make for me, I can make what I used to make in a year in a month now. So, you know, like what used to take me a year to make, I can make in a month, right? So it's like you got to get to a point like that. You really do, in a way, where it's like your weekly turnaround is what you made in a month before. It's like whether you're making 2, 3, 4, 5K a month, until you can make that in 1 week consistently, and you've seen yourself do it consistently, then end goal, not to work a 9 to 5. Yep, that makes sense. That's a lot of people's goal in, you know, this day and age. Now, trading is not like a 9 to 5. So a 9 to 5, you show up every day, you get paid for your time, right? You get paid for the time that you put in. Trading, you're not going to get paid for the time that you put in. So there's a fine line of sacrifice in the beginning stages. A fine line of sacrificing time to become better, to becoming skilled. That skill then turns into money, right? That skill set, that understanding, then the byproduct of that becomes money, right? So in the beginning, it's not showing up every day to get paid like I do at my job, right? Your job, that's going to, you know, translate into getting paid for your time. Whereas trading, the more time you put in the beginning doesn't mean more money's going to come out of it, right? You could take one trade a week. Like, you could take one trade a week and risk $100 per trade. Like, there's different angles about how you do your risk. This person put $50 in their account, and they flipped it to what they flipped it to. Now, maybe they were full porting their account and going all in, but maybe $50 is nothing for them to do that on once a week. Maybe their plan is once a week, I'm going to put $50 in my account and see what I can do. And then hit the withdraw button if I can flip it. If I lose, worst case scenario is I'm down $50 for the week. That's how you become more tangible with risk and losing. And you build your risk tolerance maybe a bit higher, is finding a balance. Maybe this is what I've taught a lot of my students who have been rocking with me for a while. Some of you guys might be learning this kind of stuff new for the first time. But it's like, if I put, so for me, I'll load an account up with $3,000 or $5,000 for the week, and I'll trade it. And then I'll take it to $20,000 in the week. And it's like, shit, I just made 15K. I just made 12K in the week. Oh, but I only had 2, 3K in my account or 5K in my account to start the week off. That's, for me, low risk, high reward when I'm actively trading like this. Because I'm not over here trying to look for like 5%, you know. I'm over here looking, I'm trying to flip it. I'm trying to make money, you know, from my money. So one good week for me could be like, yo, it's adding to a solid month. So, I mean, I'll trade, there's two styles of trading. It's big account, same percentage risk per trade. Or it's like small account for the week. Like, what am I trading for the week? All right, I'm loading my account up with $50 this week. First trade risking this. First setup that I see. Doesn't mean right when the market opens I have to trade. I still wait for the setup. But trading doesn't have to be. Trading could be a skill set that helps you just acquire a bit more capital. Maybe with where you're at, helps you scale where you're at. If you're at $4,000, $5,000 months right now. If you're someone who can make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month outside of trading, and then you come to trading, it's like you have a good foundation to start off of, because you can put $500, $1,000, or whatever in an account and practice with that. But it's not about over trading the account even too. It's like finding that risk tolerance. Is it $50 a week? Is it $100 a week? Because like market opens tonight, market just opened, it closes Friday, and then weekends it's closed. So at the end of that week, we have that gap to kind of refresh, whether it's a winning week or a losing week. That weekend, you know, whatever the result was for the week, we have that weekend gap to reset, revisit, think forward, right? Move forward from wherever we came from. If it was a losing week, regain some energy, all right? New week, let's find some new setups, make it back, right? Going long on retrace. Mini what happened on the 5 minute. Yeah, like first pullback did go up. First pullback stuck. Yeah, the first PB stuck. First PB, it did hold on the first pullback. I'm trying to hold gold longs also because of the seasonality. Make sure you guys check out the video I posted, gold price predictions. And check out the new vlog. I posted a video today. Check out the last 2 videos. If you guys haven't seen the video I posted today, check that out. Go show some love. It's a fire video. Remember, 2026 just started and we have gold seasonality. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. I talk about the long-term potential trend on gold. What's the 4 hour looking like? 4 hours bullish at the moment. Yeah, gold's probably gonna go up. Gold's starting the week. It's starting the week strong. Starting the week strong. Probably gonna have a strong week. Hope you guys enjoyed this session though. I might go live later inside the inner circle. If you're inside the inner circle, I might go live for late Tokyo session. Show some love on Instagram, guys. Show people what we're doing. We're streaming almost 2 hours now. I hope you guys got some value or something here. Hope you guys got some value, some information. What's silver doing? Silver's pumping. Platinum is pumping. The metals are starting the week off strong right now. Oil dipped down and then came back up. Yeah, silver is starting the week off strong. We're in January. Seasonality. Make sure you guys go show some love on Instagram. I see a couple of you guys tag me in your story. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. I'm going to repost this one. Oh, yeah. My guy. Suave Flex up in here. New year, higher standards. Can't trade much. Some people, yeah, if you can't trade much, you have to dedicate 1 to 2 hours a day in trading. I think that's consistency. You might feel like you need to put 7-8 hours a day in trading. You really don't. I have a blueprint here where I talk about it in this video. Where, like, if you have limited time, 1 to 2 hours a day, maybe even less in there, no more than 2 hours max. This is where you have to build like a solid foundation for yourself and know what you're looking for. I talk about like something where it's like you have very limited time or you have a little more time. More time, like 2 hours 2 hours plus a day. If you could spend 2 hours a day consistently on the charts, it adds up. 2 to 3 hours, like that's all. You don't need to be on the charts 5 hours a day, 7 hours a day. You need consistency, I think. 2 hours a day, that's going to be like, what, 7 hours a week? That's going to add up. Well, that's 14 hours, sorry. Or like, that's going to be like 10 hours. It's going to add up. That pullback did happen. Because, like, me now, I spend less time on the charts than I did when I first started trading. In a way, like, because my time is more efficient. So that's the thing, like, I realized over time, it would take me less effort, less emotions to be involved in a setup or find a setup. Because you just kind of get better over time. So the beginning stages, which, yeah, like the working the job stage, which I think a lot of people go through in the beginning of trading, that's a part of it. You spend more time there, I think, too, learning, educating. Because in the beginning, a lot of it's training your eyes to see patterns, to see reactions, to see movements. After some years of trading, that time just gets translated a bit more efficiently. Nowadays, it's way, like, I used to spend way more time on the chart than I do now. I could spend, if I wanted to, just 2 hours, 3 hours a day at the chart. And that would really be it. But to get there, are these people using 1 to 500 leverage? Yeah. Most likely, like, to get results like this, like, to get, you know, like, look at the margin here and stuff. Like, when you're looking at some of these flips that people are doing, like, these aren't even the craziest of flips that I showed. Like, I just showed some conservative ones. Maybe I can find a couple other maybe conservative ones. Because if I go in school, there's some crazy flips in the last year. Here's one, $50 to 480. This person went $50 to 480. So there's got to be high leverage. I'm looking at their lot sizes. Now, it's probably when the account got higher, but that's big lot sizes to be using. I think, like, yeah, like, it's got to be high leverage, because the only way you're going to do this is with high leverage. To get, like, flips like that. It's the gold way, yo. Once you learn gold, like, this person, $1,000 profit. They flipped their account, but I don't see any trades. They're just showing the profit. Here you go. $700 deposited, 8,700 profit, $7,000 withdraw. They probably kept the lot sizes the same, but they stacked trades. I see, like, 005s there. I would say, like, most of these people are probably using high leverage when you see, like, flips, small flips, like $68 to $610. You need leverage at that point. That's where leverage becomes more powerful, because you're literally leveraging a small number, right? Like $68. That's obviously, leverage is also, like, there's two sides to leverage, right? There's two sides to leverage. I think we know that. There's two sides to it. There's the amount of money you're leveraging. Like, how much money are you leveraging? Obviously, this person's not putting, like, $10,000, $5,000 and going all in on that. They're putting $68 and going all in on that with leverage. So maybe for them, it's a small amount to leverage to a higher number. Now they're leveraged. They might be maybe they're 1 to 1,000, 1 to 500 at least, I would say. Who is sending the what? They got to be 1 to 500. At least, but that's the power of gold. Gold, the way it's been moving the last years, it's huge swings. No, this is nothing. I've seen people go, like, from, let me see. Oh, I want to go, let's go to new. That's at default. Man, like, here, like, look at this. Just look at this for a second. $266 to 3,300. Like, that's obviously, I'm no sugarcoating things. That's got to be high leverage. But they swung this. 1 second, my chicken's here. Let me get my chicken. Now, this is impressive because this isn't just one trade. This is, like, more than one. Like, this person held from 4,336. I want you to look at the entries. So they started the trade with, I think, these trades here, and then added to it. This is pretty impressive. And man, the market, I mean, there's a lot of topics tonight. People talk about full-time trading, how they don't have time to trade full-time. I saw some stuff in the chat on that. And yeah, like, I you know, you guys are right. You're right, because there's opportunities like this that come around, and if you're not on it, you'll miss them, right? That's the thing about being a full-time trader is you're eligible to being able to see things more. If you're a full-time trader and you have all the time to be on the charts, you can always look at your phone and see where price is at. You can always be on top of things at different hours. It doesn't really matter, right? So I mean, with gold and the way with gold and how we focus on it, like I focus on gold a lot because opportunities like this can exist. Where honestly, like if you're on it and you work towards the right trade with conviction, you can make something out of it. It doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes the right trade. This is $1,000 account. Like this is an example of $1,000 account. Someone in the inner circle. They might have been taking they're taking a lot of trades. This is the power. They understand. Who is this? Who is this? Camille, I've probably seen this name before. When did this person join? When did they join? When did they join? Joined June 29th. All right. Dope. That's crazy. Let me see this. This is impressive. I just saw this. This is from November 25th. Oh, I thought this was December. $1,000 account. Damn. Now you might be looking at this like they took 106 trades in a day. They're doing something like this. They're taking entries. They're taking a lot of entries. Something like this. So they're doing this. $1,000 account. This person joined the inner circle in June. I just saw this now. This is pretty impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losing days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 winning days. Aggressive might come off as, but yo, we're here to make money. And the thing is with trading too, remember I said not long ago, you want to make the most out of everything. So mindset is one thing. Like, how can I make the most money? Like, I got to make the most out of my trades. So sometimes you got to sometimes you just got to have a little bit of balls of steel. And I'm being honest. Sometimes you just got to up the risk. And then you make that money and you're like, damn, that's different. That's different money. I haven't made that money before. And it's just a different breakthrough. It doesn't take a lot of money, I would say, to make a result like that. And we're traders. We're traders. This is what we do. So we're traders. We got to take risk to make money, right? If I could show you guys some of the craziest results I've seen in 2025, it was some of the ones back through August and September. What's top? If I could try to find some of the craziest results, let's see. Unread, top, new, default, top. What's top? Top should be the top ones. No, maybe just the top posted. Wah wah wah. I gotta scroll. I gotta scroll and just look. This guy freaking. I've seen people do one. Yeah, this person went $100 to 14,000. 7x in 2 days. I've seen too many through the year of 2025, and this is just in Discord. Discord, there's so much more results. If we actually went through this, we would be what? There's a lot of crazy results. Mindset. Let me show you guys the craziest flip I think we've seen. Let me see. What's this? See, he did. Here's him again. $100. Same person. $100 to $1,000. That's just to show you the skill set can be there. Same person. $100. That's a different month. November 25 on sells. I think this. There's 3 of these. So there's 3 people that did this. This is this and 2 other ones are the craziest results I've seen in 2025. $600 to $21,000. There was 2 other people who did the exact same thing. One person went to $28,000 from $650, and another person went to $23,000. I seen 3 people in 2025 turn $600 to over $20,000. This would have been Who's sending the emotes? Someone's sending a bunch of them. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. The link. This link might expire in like 7 days. Oh, the link might be expired. That's why. That's the Discord right there. $600. These are some of the crazy. Yeah, in 2025, I've seen people do some amazing things like this right here. Where was it? From this guy, actually. Yeah. In 2025, there's $900 to 4K. Let me find this. Here we go. Back in September, a lot of crazy rolls because of the way the markets are moving. Here's another one. I made some people collectively, just 2 people there. Made this help this person make $32,000 payout. Help that person make $20,000. Just between 2 people there. It's just between 2 people, and I'm telling you, in the year of 2025, I helped collectively make multiple 6 figures in profits along the board. Was an insane year. Bring back binary trading? Nah, I'm a gold trader. Someone should do that. Someone should bring back binary trading. Someone should. Someone should. Yeah, like gold, silver. Someone asked about this. I just saw this now. I mean, I don't trade silver, so it's like the most info you're gonna get on silver is like what's out there, what we've been seeing. Just trying to research it, see what's out there. I haven't been a silver trader, so just a gold trader. Binary trade. Nesvik has doing binary trading. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Oh, that's yeah. Hey, y'all, we're gonna wrap it up. We had 1,300. Oh, nice. 1,300 people tap in tonight. That silver trade we took last week, though. We had 1,300 people tap in tonight. Hope you guys got value. We're gonna be streaming every day. Make sure you guys tap in. Gonna be loading up some signals. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Type in the chat which broker. I'll put it in the chat. Gold, yeah, like silver. I'll look at silver in correlation. Like I don't trade silver actively. I understand gold way more, but like I'll look at them at the same times. The structure could be similar, maybe a little bit different. At times you might see one moving a little bit ahead of the other. Gold leverage to large amount 750. I don't know what that means. iPhone raffle's coming. Once we get some streams going back in. Yeah, binary trading, you gotta ask someone else for that. But I don't see any questions. Lately I've been only trading gold. It's been a game changer the past 3 years. Yeah, less is more. You find your pair, stick to it, understand what sets it off, what makes it move. Just stick to a pair, one thing, get to know it, get to know what sets it off, what triggers it, what makes it move, get a feeling for it. For me, that was gold. It could be any currency pair. Some of you guys might trade currency pairs. You might be looking at 10, 20 different currency pairs or a bunch of currency pairs. There might be one or two of those currency pairs you're better at than others. You might be better at a certain pair more than another. And maybe just sticking to what you're better at than trying to be trading everything. That's kind of where I got to my trading 5 years ago. Because I would always look at the yen pairs, the AUD pairs, the euro pairs. I would look at a bunch of currency pairs. And yeah, I might have been stronger with one more than the other. So gold, I noticed I was good at gold. So when I started trading gold, I noticed I was better at predicting gold than currency pairs. So my shift was towards gold because I noticed I was stronger with it. I was way better with it. What you got here? XAU. Damn, bro. 82 now. Yeah, we can see the conflict on this weekend, how it's affecting the metals. XAU 82 now, on the way up. XAU to me is easier to predict than currency pairs. Like I used to trade currency pairs, but I haven't in a long time. You can trade gold $100. Yeah, you could trade gold, yeah. Yeah, 0.1 is $750. No. On a $100 account with the right broker, right leverage, no, like you could do 001. This like you could trade 001 unless the broker has like 1 to 50 leverage or something. Depends on the leverage. I mean, whatever the balance is, gold still moves. Like, small trades can turn into decent profits with the way it moves. Don't underestimate gold's movements and the lot size, like the power of even just small lot sizes. I wouldn't underestimate it with like just even small lots on it. With the way it moves, like these small lot sizes can add up like with it if you have multiple. I wouldn't underestimate its movements. I took $75 370 day. Gold and US 30 is good. Yeah, a lot of people like that mixture. Currency pairs, most people like. I see a lot of people talk good. GBP Japan, like GBP Japan's good for a currency pair. If you're looking for like fast currency pair, GBP Japan moves well. Like two pairs for me. Like it depends on like what your approach is. Like a lot of people like Euro USD because it's concrete. It moves the most to the dollar. Like Euro USD moves 90% correlated or even more to the dollar. It's the number one pair that moves against the DXY opposite. Like it's literally like the opposite chart. If you look at Euro USD and then you go to the dollar, it's like the opposite. That's a good concrete place to start. It's not as volatile, so like you can trade bigger lot sizes than you might be used to trading on something like gold or an indice. If you're good at understanding dollar movements, like predicting the dollar movements, Euro USD is the easiest pair to trade with the dollar because it literally is like an inverse of it. Gold kind of takes up the chunk for like multiple pairs. Like you got gold, right? Instead of looking at three pairs, you could look at gold. Like gold is like two or three pairs at once in a way. With its volatility and how much pips it moves. Yo, make sure you guys tune in this year. I'm serious when I say this. We got massive upgrades coming to the Inner Circle that is going to be launching in the next like 30 to 40 days in February time. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to help people make money. It was a good year. If you're inside the Inner Circle, we're going to be live a little bit later. Maybe talking about some crypto. Crypto is pumping right now. I'm going to talk about some positions that I have on crypto. Some of the coins that I have in my portfolio. Or I'm going to take a screenshot of everything and update everything. But I'll be on in a couple hours. If you're inside the Inner Circle, I'll drop the link. That'll be a couple hours from now. And yeah, we're going to do an update on that call. It won't be a long call. It'll be like a 40-minute call. Right? It won't be a long call. If you won't be up. But I'll be on in a couple of hours inside the Inner Circle. Let me check out the chat. What are you guys saying here? I usually use like 1 to 200. 1 to 2. I'll usually 1 to 200. I find enough. I'll usually trade on that. But yo, we'll be live in a few hours inside the Inner Circle. Probably around Lake Tokyo, so probably like 3 hours from now. Yeah, what time is it? 7:30 right now. So yeah, in about 3 hours from now, we will be live around 10:30/11:30 p.m. Not 11:30, 10:30. Oh, I can't even write. I gotta change the font. So 10:30/11 p.m. EST. All right, we're gonna be back on. That's in about 3 hours from now. 10:30/11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on the Inner Circle. So for those of you guys in the Inner Circle, I'll drop the link in Discord. We'll be back on. I'll see you guys there. For those of you guys that are there, make sure you guys tap in if you can. It'll be a good call. I'm going to go over some crypto updates, just some coins that I'm holding. I'm going to take some screenshots, show you guys coins that I'm holding, where the market's kind of at, and we'll just look at gold and see if there's any signals at that time. Maybe there's a signal we can catch. We'll see how the market looks in 3 hours, though. I'll be back on then. One to 1,000. Yeah, I've never used 1 to 1,000, so damn, yo. I'm using 1 to 200 right now. It's pretty deep. 1 to 1,000, eh? I mean, I get, yeah. That's up there. 1 to 500. I've used 1 to 500. That's up there. 1 to 1,000. That's deep. That's the broker I'm currently using. I just put the link in the chat. ICP. Someone said ICP pumping. I just got an ICP like 2 days ago too. Like I literally just longed it like 2 days ago. Weekly, yeah. ICP's weekly candle looks nice. It just made a strong weekly candle. All these weeklies, like the weeklies have turned around on all crypto. Like the weeklies have broke, some weeklies have broke structures, dailies, but yeah, weeklies have rejected on all crypto. Bitcoin just hit $92,000 not that long ago, if I'm not mistaken. The weeklies have shown some good support coming with the candles, some engulfing candles, some reversal candles. ICP weekly looks nice. Honestly, if ICP could go to like $20 again, $20 is like the high here, but 2025, what was the highest price it hit in 2025? It was literally like here, like 14, 13, 12, like around this high. If ICP could go back to one of like the highs, one of these highs, I will be happy. I'll be more than happy with that. But ICP looks good on the weekly. Yo, inner circle session soon. Oil is super heavy right now. Oh, wrong. Yeah, oil. I don't know if I'm gonna trade oil. Like, I'll look at it. Is it a buy? It's gonna be probably even more heavy tomorrow, New York session. Once the stock market opens up tomorrow morning, it'll be probably very heavy. Yeah, oil's. It started with a dump. Yeah, it dumped on market open. There was a huge drop, I'd say a big drop there on market open. Fast one. There was a fast drop. Any update on U-Trade? I just been trading it. I traded it live last week. My account's up $30,000, almost $30,000. I've withdrawn 18K from it. I actually have the last trade. I took a sell, so I took a sell on it actually. But my account's up around 30K, I think, close to all-time history. I traded this live last week. I was able to get what I think we have 2 people who had a payout. So we had 2 people who had a payout. I think one person had like a $1,500 payout. I had an $18,000 payout from this account. I've been trading this account. I took one fat L, and I took that. I showed this back in October, November. I remember showing all this. I've showed all this. Some of you guys would have seen that. When the account was up like $16,000, and then I took that L, and then I made it back like the next day. Around that time, there's been some crazy trades. Like I took a sell, and I even have it screenshotted actually when I took it. I think it's still on the laptop. Let me see if it's still on my laptop. New folders with items. Let me see. I even took a screenshot of this sell because it was like good timing. And I was like, I took the sell, and I was like, I could have sent that as a signal. I was pissed off after because I didn't send it. Where's the sell screenshot? It should be on my laptop. I gotta find it. I want to show this screenshot if I can find the exact screenshot. I took a screenshot of when I entered this trade. I wonder if I still have it. Hard to find. 31st, 2 in the morning. Let's see. Is this it? This might be it. That was one. Oh yeah, it's coming. Where's the sell? Oh, yeah, look at this sell. So this is a sell I took, and then I ended up getting out. It didn't really make much money. Like it made like a bit, but show you the confirmation. I'm gonna make a video on this. People ask if I take sells. Some people ask if I take sells. I do. I do take some sells. I do take some sells. This was a sell I took on my own. I hesitated to send it as a signal because it was a sell. I was like, man, when have I sent a signal as a sell? I entered after this rejection candle right here. Literally, it was like a break and retest. And I was like iffy about it. I was debating on sending a signal. I didn't. I should have. It would have went into profit, but it's probably not the signal I wanted. It would have been a quick trade. I really wanted to buy too. I took a sell on gold after this candlestick right here. I still have it marked from when I was last trading. Let me see if I can find it. Last week. I took that L live and then made it back. But yeah, there's one of these is a sell. Gold's strong right now. I think we're going to keep pushing up. Like, we're maybe setting the tone for the week. Looking for retracements or good entries on breakouts, pullbacks. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm going to wrap this session up. We got a lot of people on today. Make sure you guys tune in. Stay consistent with the streams. There's going to be a lot to learn. Going to be a lot of good examples of things to overcome, things to things to have breakthroughs from, and just things to overlearn. Mindset, trading. If you missed 2025 or if you were a part of 2025, we did a lot. So I'm excited to get into it this year. Big stream. We had a lot of people on. Make sure you guys keep tuning in. I'll see everybody next stream. And like I said, Inner Circle, I'll be live in 3 hours. Right now it's 7:30, so I'm going to jump on between 10:30/11 p.m. Eastern time. In about 3 hours from now. Gold is doing gold things. It looks like it's strong, and like we went over, like we talked, we talked about the Venezuela invasion. That is probably why gold's moving how it's moving right now. Right? We had that conflict over the weekend. Gold is usually strong to these type of events, these types of situations, conflicts, crises, attacks, whatever it is. And I mean, yeah, this also, it's more than just, them taking him into custody or whatever. This creates, like we talked about all stream, a big imbalance for trade wars, trade policies, right, for other countries. So that just might add more uncertainty to the market, the general market outlook. Let's see what gold does tonight, though, and throughout the week. Signals are loading, new week loading, new month loading. Get ready, guys. First stream of 2026. We're getting a rock and rolling. No, you wouldn't want to buy here. This is not the place to buy. You're at the high. Wait for it to either break. You would want the market to pull back, like give you a good retracement, or break the high, go for a retest. Check ICP. What's ICP at? Crypto. Okay. But y'all, see everybody next stream. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Happy New Year. See you guys on the next stream. New year, new opportunities. It's like that every month. New month, new opportunities. Yeah, new year. New year, new money. New year, new mindset. New year, new standards. That was the beginning of this stream. New year, new standards. All right? New year, higher standards for yourself. Right? Remember what we talked about at the beginning. New year, higher standards. Higher standards. It's always new year, new opportunities. Yes. I look at it, new year, not new opportunities, but new opportunities, but new behavior to act on the things you didn't. If you feel like you didn't make the most out of your days in 2025, then yeah, new year to act more. New year to act on the things that we didn't act on. There's always new month, new opportunities, yo. New month, new opportunities. It's like that. New week, new opportunities. But yo, Happy New Year. What's vision on Bitcoin? Bullish. I talked a little bit about the beginning of the stream. Like, we are bullish overall. Like, at these prices, I would accumulate. So it goes back to what I've said the last 2 weeks about crypto. It's everybody's asking, should I be buying? Should I be buying? Should I be buying? And it's like, the name of the game is buy low, sell high. You want to buy when prices are cheaper. You want to sell when prices are higher, obviously. So for me, I'm looking at Bitcoin as, you know, something that could possibly go up. This is the first stage of maybe some recovery. 2026 started out creating a top, or 2025 started creating a top for Bitcoin. We're seeing going into 2026, we might be creating a local bottom here. So it is trying to break out. We have been accumulating, and the market has been in a fair territory to accumulate. These are the places you see Bitcoin at 92K, and we talked about it the last weeks. Like, these are the places to accumulate. We were in extreme fear. We're still in fear, now neutral. So now we got to see how the market reacts from here. Like, we might be creating a local bottom. The last time we were in extreme fear was over here. We're accumulating next to that. So and that's the lowest point of 2025. Like, this is the lowest Bitcoin was in 2025, was back in April. So now we're going into 2026. Last year, between February and April, the market was in buying territory. So the last couple months we've been in buying territory. Do we stay until February or March? Maybe even until April. Because it wasn't until gold really slowed down. Gold slowed down in April of last year. That's when Bitcoin really started going up, is when gold really started to slow down, which was in April last year. So right now, I think Bitcoin's in accumulation zone, right? It's building up a sideways accumulation zone. This is the lowest point, right? This is the lowest point of 2025. So for me, it's like accumulate what I can at these low prices, because I don't day trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not like gold for me. I think in terms of months or years with Bitcoin. I don't think in days or sessions or hours. I think in months and years with Bitcoin. So coming down, like, Bitcoin's been dropping for the last few months. Like, Bitcoin's been on a down for 90 days. So like 3 months, Bitcoin's been on pretty much a down. So I see this as accumulation area, like an area where I have to accumulate, right? Prices could go up. If they don't, then I prepare myself for just lower prices to accumulate, right? This would be my, we've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, but here, like, the next zone would be if Bitcoin doesn't hold the lowest point of 2025, like the lowest point of 2025 was here. If we don't hold that, then I see it coming to like 70, right? But for now, like, we're making a local bottom in an extreme time of fear that we were just in. As long as we hold that 2025 low, I think we could get a stronger recovery. Altcoins, those are all like, I'm long on ICP, and I'm like, okay. I'm long on coins that are like this too. Like, I'm accumulating coins that are at lows like this. I'm not afraid of them because it's the name of the game. Buy when they're cheap, buy low. I don't want to be right later on. I'd rather be like, okay, I could be wrong early. This doesn't have to pump this month. This could pump in 6 months from now. Like I said, I think in terms of months and years with crypto. So ICP, super low. What else is low? Like, coins that I'm holding. Chainlink, super low. Sui, super low. Cardano, super low. Avalanche, super low. XRP, super low. Was just super low, right? Like Jupiter, super low. What else? HBAR, super low. All these coins are super low. Bitcoin's not super low. Bitcoin's neutral. Bitcoin is not super low, right? And these altcoins are signaling their bottoms. Like, a lot of these altcoins are soon, like, getting near their bottoms. Like, they have to be. they're all so considerably low. Like Cardano is at multi-year lows. So all these coins, like for me, they're nearing their bottoms. Bitcoin's not like the lowest it is on the chart. Like if you look at, for example, Cardano. Where's Cardano? That's a top coin, a very popular coin. Cardano's where it was. Cardano's exactly where it was in 2022, December. Cardano's at the same price it was in 2020 here. Bitcoin's not like that. So Bitcoin's obviously stronger. It's stronger. It's the stronger crypto. It's always going to be a stronger crypto. These coins, to me, like if they're not at their bottoms, then fuck. I'll be cooked this year. I'll be in a big drawdown if these coins, like I believe these coins, like a lot, like you could Chronos, like CRO, like it doesn't matter what coin I really flip up. Dog with hat, meme coins, Chainlink's literally low. Like whatever coin it is, they're all low. And I figure these coins are nearing their bottoms, like a bottom where they're gonna explode eventually. XRP was literally, well, we were talking about XRP at $1.80. It was literally at like the yearly low, like 2025's like lowest point it came to, right? Like things just kind of broke up on the weekly, so it's like if we can hold this, then maybe we're going into strong recovery. Obviously, we didn't expect the whole Venezuela, like, well, people did. There's people who did, but that happened, and now crypto, since that's been recovering, so that's been like positive news for crypto, as we can see already. But everything to me is worth testing at these levels, accumulating, and seeing, do these levels stick? If they don't, we know we could go down to lower levels to accumulate. But these are levels where it's like you got to accumulate at some projects because, like I said 2 weeks ago and last week, you never know when something has that 20-30% day with crypto. Crypto goes up faster than it goes down. So like coins have been going down for over 100 days, right? This has been down like 150 days. There's coins that have been dropping for 130, 90 to 150 plus days. So when they go up, they don't go up as long as they gone down for. Like the up is faster than the down. So when these coins pump, they'll have days when they start or when they get ready, they'll have days where they move 20%, 30%, 15%, or back-to-back days included, multiple gains when they move, like whether it's meme coins, altcoins. Like if Bitcoin holds the yearly low of like 2025 yearly low, if we hold that low, right? We have this low here on Bitcoin. We hold that. If we hold that, then a strong recovery on Bitcoin takes all these coins that are at their low just significantly higher, like pumping fast probably. But things like the coins, like there's some solid projects that are at prices that when they were pumping you would have wished they were at, right? Like some projects are at prices where you would have wished they were at before they pumped, like when things were up here, right? Some prices that we could have wished we bought in before, right? So yeah, like Bitcoin does look like it is coming into January strong. We had some months down. We do have potentially a local bottom here being made now. We can see that now on the weekly or the monthly weekly. So we do have some signs of structure here on Bitcoin. If it can break above $93,000, I think that's kind of like the key level right now, 93K here, that it's coming to test, because we've been in sort of this range, and we broke out this consolidation from the holidays. Now we've just completely broken out of that. So we're in like this bigger consolidation as well, 93K. If we can break above that 93K level, that will probably take us to like 95, 97. And just like that, like it might happen that quick. We'll see. Like it is recovering pretty well this week. If we look at any crypto, last week did do well for crypto. Last week did have a nice movement for all cryptos on the weekly candle. Solana engulfing candle. Solana had an engulfing candle on the weekly. We can see XRP engulfing candle on the weekly. So some coins had some strong weekly rejections, we can see on weekly. But yo, we're out. Shiba Inu. Yeah, Shiba too, yeah. The crap coins, the meme coins, the poo coins, they went up. Like, I have Bonk. Like, meme coins I have are Bonk, Whiff, Pepe, Pengu. And yeah, they all went up like 20%, 20, 30% almost last day. Just on the meme folio, I was like, the day changed quite significantly, but they're all still low too. Like, yeah, but like, Engulfing Candle, yeah, they're all low. Like, the meme coins all pumped. I think memes all pumped. Pepe, Bonk, Pengu a bit. Whiff went up a bit. But yeah, we're at structural points, like yearly, multi-yearly levels too with some of these coins where you could get some good pumps coming out of this very, very soon. 92. Bitcoin 92. There's a threshold around 93K. We break that 93K and it could be a level of force to where then we go up to like 95, 97. Just like that, it happens that quick where crypto moves one day after another. The reason why when the market's in extreme fear, you just got to not be fearful, because what next thing you know, we might see some of these coins moving like 10%, 5%, 20%, and it's just like your entries are gone at that point. A coin moves 20%, it's like, damn, yo. Even Solana was just at the 120s, 120. Like, Solana's moved 12%, significantly different entry, right? But still low, like on the overall chart, like structure-wise. When we look at like, can this be going for a big swing if things hold? Possibly. But yo, I'll see everybody next stream. I just want to answer that question real quick. We're out. We've been on Algorand. Yeah, Algorand is another good coin. I used to have it, but I don't have it anymore. I have HBAR. I have XRP and HBAR. Algo. Yeah, Algorand. XLM. Sui's at $1.70. That thing was just at like 120s, I think. Everything had like a nice price change. CRO, I have CRO. I mean, Trump is invested in CRO, crypto.com. I have some leverage positions. I'll show you them. I want to build them up. I don't want to get liquidated this time. I'm starting small. These are I have 3 leverage positions that I just want to hold long term. I gotta add more to Solana. Like Solana, like I'm gonna add more to this account, but Solana I want to stack up more. HBAR as well, but ICP, like if ICP, I might just hold this. I might try to hold this ICP for the year, and just see where it gets to, because this is a small account. I only got $6,700 in this account. I'm pretty high leverage right now though. Like, I think I might end up closing Solana and just holding ICP and just leaving a liquidation. Like, I'm going to leave a liquidation on ICP at a price I don't think is going to hit, but an amount that I'm willing to risk. I'm not going to go a lot of money. ICP, I'm trying to stack like 5,000 ICP on this account. Right now I got 2,174. It's not crazy amount, but if this thing goes up, it could be a lot of, like, to where it's been. I'm basically max longing XIP. I'm basically max longing ICP at the lows, all right? I'm max longing ICP. I'm not max long on HBAR, but I'm pretty hefty soon. Like, I got longs on HBAR, only 50,000 coins. I need to get that to like 200,000 coins, maybe 150, 200,000. I want to get Solana to at least 250, 300 Solana. And ICP, I want to get to around like 3,000 ICPs. I think that would be a fair amount, because I have more ICP. But yeah, this is leverage trading. I'm going to go over this later. If you're in the inner circle, I'll bring this up a little bit later. I'm honestly just going to hold these. I might end up closing Sol and just holding ICP and just leaving it as a trade and stacking to it. If I lose, because it's easier to trade like this with one trade only, because then it's just like one trade. If it goes to that liquidation, I'm out. But at these prices, I gotta long some things. Like at these lows, like some things are just so low, I gotta long some things, you know? It's the way it goes. At these prices, like, and Bitcoin's pumping right now, but at these like low levels, I got to long some things, to be honest. But yo, I'll see everybody next stream. Peace, 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 peace.